As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff, Booner, and Lucas. It is Tuesday, June 17th, and we are back. We are back. It's the offseason. We got plenty of things to talk about today, even in a dry period, right? We have the NBA Finals. We have...
It pissed me off.
Did that piss a lot of people off? And honestly, news came out from the NBA Finals. That is pretty big, too. Could sway the entire final. So we'll talk about all that. And of course, we have Lions stuff to get to and other things. But welcome to the show, everyone. Donkey Kong, appreciate you guys. Ball Don't Lie. I see Xavier's in there as well. Ben Blue, Doughboy Steve, Crazy Clown Anakin. Shift God, what's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. I mean, just to start before we get into like football, because the Detroit Lions training camp practices were announced. We talked about it yesterday. They've announced it officially. The dates are out there, which it's a little over a month away. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But the NBA Finals, Jalen Williams.
Dude, I knew Jalen Williams was good, but continue.
Yeah, he had himself a day. The Thunder stole that game. Well, not really stole. They just beat him. And Tyrese Halliburton didn't play well. I mean, he had 4 points. He was 0 for 6 on field goals. So, yeah. I said it to you guys yesterday, man. I have the Thunder in 6. I still feel that way. And now with Tyrese Halliburton with a calf injury, it seems like it's a strained calf. He's getting tests on it to see if he can play or not. That's bad. That's really bad. So it's looking like the Thunder, at least at this point, probably going to win in 6. Kind of, it's leaning that way, Klotzy. So
I'd agree, especially, and I wanted the Pacers to win. I thought they had a shot. And I think the crucial loss was not even last night. It was the game before when the Indiana Pacers got pacered and the Thunder were able to come back late in that game, steal a win that they honestly had no business being, especially if you saw the way that Indiana was playing early on and into the middle of the fourth quarter. They had a chance to just take that game over, take the 3-1 lead. And then you're looking at a situation where if you have a 3-1 lead and Tyrese Halliburton has a strained calf, obviously still hard to pull that game off, but you only need one game. And now they're in a situation where you're down one game. I think Siakam is their best player, proved it last night. And I understand that Halliburton did have the injury, but even through the whole playoffs, Siakam's been the more consistent player. And even on the defense side of the ball, he was playing good last night, able to create some turnovers. They could have Siakam going off. They could have some of those role players going off. But if you don't have when you watch some of the passes that Tyrese Halliburton plays and the way that he just controls the floor when he's on there, that's what makes him so good. It's not the scoring, but it's how efficient he is at making everyone around him better. And he will go get a bucket or two if he needs to. But with that not being on the floor, with that playmaking not being there, you can really just focus on Siakam and you can let Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell and all these other guys have those plays. It just won't be enough because even Halliburton on the defensive side of the ball, Pacers are good defensively, but with his length, it poses a problem, and it's going to be huge if he's not 100%. I mean, there was 2 minutes left in the game, and they were just not on the court. Tyrese was gone. Even going into that fourth quarter, I was like, why is Tyrese not in the game? You could just saw it. Like, if he's not on the floor, the Pacers could stay around, but it just won't be enough.
Yeah, if he's out, series is over, man. He's a big piece of that puzzle. Even though he didn't play well last night, he was battling something, and it was announced he was hurt. So he just didn't look like himself. I mean, 0 for 6 for a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, who really this postseason's kind of asserted himself into more of a superstar conversation. It is really unfortunate. Jalen Williams is the X factor, though, man. He goes off for 40. It's like, what are you going to do at that point? SGA is usually that guy. He gets you 40 a night. But if you have another guy going for 40, the Thunder team's hard to beat. Like, they just are. They're really good. And the West, they kind of benefited because the West isn't really what it used to be. It seems like the East is kind of the in my opinion, the better conference. When you have the Celtics, you have the Knicks, and now you have teams that are getting better and better, that are kind of arriving, like the Pacers now. You know, like they've arrived. it's tricky, and then now that's why you have the Magic making moves. Like, I think the East is kind of first time in a while. I know the Warriors are older. The Thunder are the Thunder, but the Lakers, they have LeBron and Luka, but still you're looking at the Rockets are pretty good, but it's more
Spurs
balanced.
are going to be up there.
Yeah, Spurs are up there, but it's more balanced for sure. That's kind of what it is now. It's good for the NBA, obviously, but yeah, the Thunder are going to win this thing, man. They are, and I think
out of the way.
Yeah, just get it out the way at this point. I was hoping they would have the game on Sunday or the weekend, but they had it on Monday, so we weren't able to watch it, but it's okay. It sucks because we can't watch the finals, but it's okay. We'll just check out what happens afterwards. But like I was saying earlier,
parlay in that game too.
What was your parlay?
Because remember I told you I won in game 4. I won a good, like, not good money, but I just put like 15 on it, 160, and it was Miles Turner 10. So pretty much a lock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 15, pretty much a lock. SGA 30, pretty much a lock, except for one game, which I didn't bet on that game through this whole playoffs, especially in the series. Chet 6 rebounds, and I put it to 8 rebounds, and then the last leg was Tyrese 15 points. And when I checked in on the game, and I saw that I was watching it, and Tyrese just made free throws, and it said Tyrese Halliburton 4 points. 0 for 7 from the field. I was so furious because I was like, oh, this is just a lock to hit again. I put 30 on. I was like, oh, I'm going to make some good money here. Nope. Phone broke on me this morning. Really?
Yeah, well, that's
really use that money when I saw my phone broke. Looked like I set my phone down at work. Literally nothing happened. I came back and it looked like it got shot with a paintball gun. Wasn't fun.
Yeah, that's how it is now. You bet. Whatever happens, won't happen. That's what I've noticed for me for the most part. I mean, I've been losing on UFC a lot recently. So I've been on a cold streak, but the UFC is a good example of that. When I don't bet UFC, it's fun to watch. And then when you add money into it, you're on the edge of your seat and you lose everything you think is going to happen. So, it happens in the NBA too. The only team I really bet on is the Pistons, and we've won some money this year on the Pistons, but I really don't bet on too many other teams. It's just it's hard to predict like patterns. I guess with your bet though, you bet on like SGA is pretty reliable, but yeah, Tyrese is I like Tyrese a lot. I mean, he's a really good player. He should have gotten 15 points though. If he wasn't banged up. So. Yeah, I do agree with Xavier. Sometimes when you bet on sports, it does kind of ruin the experience sometimes. I'll just say that. You start looking to win a bet, honestly.
Yeah,
that's really
it takes away from, like, even in Lions games, like when they're winning games and they're blowing teams out, like I leave kind of unhappy if a parlay doesn't hit that I need yards or a touchdown from. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
They won, but I lost.
Especially if the Lions lose and you lose a parlay. It's like just a
worse.
double. Yeah, it's like a double FU.
And it's an awkward feeling when the Lions lose, but you win a good sum of money, and you're just still happy. It's just like it's a very bipolar feeling.
By the way, what happened with your phone? So you got a new phone, or what's going on with it?
Yeah, come on. Hey, the phone issues I've been having. I was like I said, I was at work, and I work at Discount Tires, so there's a balancing machine, and I set it down on the balancing machine. I went to bolt on a tire, and I came back, and like genuinely looked like my phone got shot with a black paintball gun. And the whole screen was just shut, did not move. So I wonder if it was just like a little crack that was there and then it just finally gave way. But I couldn't do anything but use my Apple Watch and my Siri. And I go to Verizon. They tell me $600 fee because there was just overdraft. I'm on my brother's plan, so yada, yada, yada. $600 I had to just upgrade or to fix the phone. I was like, what the hell are we doing here? Not a chance, bucko. So I was like, hey, called my brother, sorted that out with him. Went to AT&T, hooked me up with a brand new iPhone for $45, like $100 a month. I don't really care that I'm giving out my phone plan. I mean, it's not that personal, but good little deal. Yeah. Good little deal. Walked out of there. New phone, new man, more efficient man.
New number?
New number. 419. Hey, I'm from Toledo. Always had a 216 number. Cleveland area. Never made sense. I'm officially 419 area located.
I had a 419 number text me and I was like, who the hell is this? And then you text me and I was like, okay, 419. All right. But at first I'm like, Toledo. It's like, hey, can you add me in the group chat?
Yeah, I was like, hey, I have everybody's contacts, but no one has me as their contact. So it's kind of annoying, but there is like that upside where it's like, if I never want this person to contact me again,
You're
I
good.
don't have to worry about a damn thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, my thing is, I would hate getting a new number, just because of how many people I have on my, like that. I know my number. That's always tricky. But hey, at least you got it all worked out, Klotz. You know what?
Yeah.
We move, we bounce back. All right, we keep it
We
pushing.
move.
Coach Walk says Halliburton is an average player that flourishes in Rick Carlisle's system.
You know what? Let me ask you this: do you think that Halliburton can be now the team is nowhere near the level of success, but do you think he's like a Jamal Murray? Or it's just like he's good in big moments, and Jamal's had some crazy playoff games too, where he's put up a lot of points, but where he's just going to be really good in the playoffs and the regular season kind of get his way there.
I'll say this about Halliburton. I know Jay Williams said that he doesn't believe he's a superstar, and he walked that back. He said he is a superstar now, but I think we do use the word superstar a lot. I don't think Halliburton's a superstar. I think he's a star. I think he's a really good player. But I think people look at points and dictate who's a superstar. I do think that you can do more than just score points and be considered a superstar. Chris Paul's a good example of that. Like Chris Paul, early on in his career was balling, but later in his career, he was given, he's given like the Clippers. He would give the Clippers like 18 and 10, and people would be like, that guy's a superstar. I think Halliburton, he's floating on that line for sure. Like there might be nights where he isn't as aggressive as he probably should be, but then you'll have nights where it's like, this guy looks like a superstar. So I think that won't be a conversation. I think as his career goes on, I think he's shown a lot of talent. But as of right now, I probably wouldn't say the guy is among like who would I, maybe he's in that Cade tier. Like if you want to put him, but even Cade's like all NBA. So. Yeah, like I'd still take Cade over him. I'd probably put him right behind Cade, but he's a up and coming superstar. I think to be a superstar, I look at guys like Giannis, I look at guys like Luka, Jokic, Steph Curry. I guess you could still throw him in that conversation.
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards. I wouldn't put Halliburton on that level. I'd put Cade basically. He's right under those guys, and I'd probably put Halliburton just under him. Personally. But yeah, I just think the word superstar gets thrown around a little too much, in my opinion. Like I think we start calling guys, it's all Booner felt. We disagreed about OG and Anunoby, but I think star is less of a issue than superstar. Like people throw around superstar a lot. Like I think that's probably one of the more overused words.
Yeah,
it's like everyone wants to consider guys superstars. It's like there's only a handful of superstars in the NBA at a time. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. Kevin Durant, I'd say, is still right now a superstar. But Tyrese is someone that you could definitely build a franchise around. He took a team to an NBA
You think
finals,
he's a one?
I don't know about that. Because again, if they won this, I'll ask you this: if they won this NBA Finals, who would win Finals MVP?
Me personally, I would go Siakam. Again, Not saying that I don't think that takes away from Halliburton, but again, Siakam, more consistent player. And even we've seen like Mathurin get hot and the other guys around him, TJ McConnell gets hot. Again, they're not to the level of Halliburton, but I think the guy who's held it down through 4 quarters most of the time has been Siakam.
Yeah, well, let's bring in Boone. He's Boone. What's going on, Boone?
Can you guys hear me?
He's not going to like this.
No, listen, because this is a problem too. And shout out to the fellas, Flannel and Kool-Aid too. You guys can hear me, correct?
Yeah.
Hey,
you guys were having this conversation. Those guys had the conversation. This is it. And I think I'm kind of tired of disrespect. I think a lot of people disrespect players in every single league, not just Tyrese Halliburton. He's not a superstar, right? I've said this for a million years. There are 5 or 6 superstars in the NBA. That's it. And there's about 20 to 25 stars. And that's counting the superstars. So after 25-ish, I think after that, you start getting into really good starters, high level starters, and all-stars, in my opinion. But for people, and you guys included, to say that Tyrese Halliburton isn't close to that, and Jeff, what I heard you say is that, well, I'll give it to Cade because Cade's all NBA. Tyrese Halliburton is also third-team All-NBA with Cade Cunningham, and he wasn't just third-team All-NBA this year. It was back-to-back seasons that this man put numbers up, and I'm not saying, hey, he's putting maybe some numbers up. No, for the voters to say, hey, this guy deserves it. He is a top 20 player in this league. He affects the game. Pascal Siakam hasn't done that since 2022. And guess what? That happened. He gets traded to the Pacers with, guess what, who? Tyrese Halliburton. And the voters put Tyrese Halliburton as an All-NBA player over Pascal Siakam. So, I mean, I understand what you guys are saying in essence, but reality of the situation is Tyrese is a star in the NBA in today's.
Yeah,
yes, he has these random games where he scores 4 points, and he's had it a couple times in the playoffs. I can't defend that. Like, that's why he's not a superstar, right? That's why Cade Cunningham's a better basketball player as him. Now, are they both stars right now? Yes. Are they either one of them a superstar? No. But who's has a better chance of being a superstar? Cade Cunningham. But let's stop. And this is what I hate about some of these statements that's being made about Tyrese Halliburton. And I hate that I have to consistently keep sticking up for him, is the people who say, like, and shout out Coach Walk. I love Coach Walk. But Coach Walk, oh, he's an average player that's playing well in a certain system. Wrong. Tyrese Halliburton's a very, very, very good player that is also in a good system. And that's the reason that he's a 2-time All-NBA basketball player in the National Basketball Association. That's not something just to throw around. That man is back-to-back seasons All-NBA. That's tough. That's top. To do it back-to-back seasons, you're top 15 solidified at that point, right? Like for 2 seasons straight. One, you could say kind of fluky year, whatever. Back-to-back, no. The people who are saying he's overrated in that, you just don't like him because he's the team he plays on. That's all it is. But if you're a basketball knower and you watch the game,
a savant.
Tyrese is in that conversation. Not superstar, but he is a star in the NBA. He is the best player on a team in the NBA Finals. I get you guys can say Siakam. Tyrese is the best player on that team in the NBA Finals. Point blank period, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think there's the reason why the point I was making about Cade is I think is a 1. I think Cade is a 1. I don't think like in an NBA Finals, let's say the Pistons made an NBA Finals run. I think in the Eastern Conference Finals, he would win MVP, and in the Finals, he would win MVP because he'd be a leading scorer. He'd have the most assists. Like I think that's where I would say the differences between Cade and him. Like Cade could, I just think the Siakam thing, as much as I'm not going to say he's the more important player, I'm not going to say that because Tyrese does a lot on the basketball court that is valuable. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to have that thing with Cade where like you bring in a number 2, let's say Jaren Jackson Jr., and Jaren Jackson Jr. wins MVP in the Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA Finals. Like, I don't think that would ever happen with Cade, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, the thing with that, with the whole conversation with that, it's like this year, I brought this up a million times. I actually talked to Flannel about it, and I texted him about it. There's a difference this year between Cade and Tyrese. Right now, Tyrese is ahead of Cade, point blank at the end of the day, because Tyrese is ahead of Cade in those moments, because this year Tyrese had those shots that Cade had versus the New York Knicks, and who hit them? Tyrese Halliburton did. Oh, yeah. Cade Cunningham didn't. So, like, if you're talking about moment and who is at that point, it's Tyrese Halliburton. And again, I'll say this: Cade's a better basketball player. But right now, when we're talking about winning games and being the leader, and you're sitting here saying, who do you trust? I trust Tyrese because he actually did it. Cade had the ball in those moments and didn't finish. Yeah, he didn't. And he had 2 times in that series where he had a chance to finish the game. He could have at least gone 1 for 2. Or he could at least hit one of the opportunities. He didn't. And Tyrese has all playoffs. So it's like, hey, who do you trust in those moments? If you say Cade Cunningham, you have no clue what you're talking about because Tyrese has had those moments and has capitalized.
I know he has the game winners, but my point is, he's ahead of him in late game situations. Okay. But who would you take
as a player? Yes, as a player as a whole. Who's the better player, Cade? But right now, I mean, Tyrese is just a little ahead in the career just because of those moments. So
he's ahead in clutch moments.
And Coach Walk can say he disappears in games all he wants. He's stepped up in more games than he's disappeared, and he is one of the biggest reasons that team's in the finals today. So it's like, if you want to use that as an example, I think all of those game winners he hits overrides a game like last night at the end of the day.
Who would you take? You would still draft Cade though. You needed a player.
100%. Like today, I'll take Cade for sure. I think Cade could be top 5. Tyrese is just going to be top 15 for the next couple of years, and that's probably the ceiling.
Okay. Then we agree.
Sorry, Klotz, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, I think both of those things you're saying are true. Like, I don't think you could really argue, like, ahead of career, like, you can't even argue Halliburton's ahead of him, one, just because they got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and then he went on an insane playoff run this year. Like, Cade has not sniffed that, but that's not saying that Cade isn't the better player. Like, if you're going pound for pound, clearly I'm going with Cade, and I think that career-wise down the road, I think Cade will go on to do more and have a better career, but up to this point, and you can't really blame Cade just because of the situation he's been in, but Halliburton's done miles more.
Yeah, that's why I think. That's why I love it because we're in Detroit here, so people hate the Pacers and specifically Tyrese.
I can't stand the Knicks anymore. That's I don't even mind the Pacers.
Yeah, but it's just, to me, it's like in back-to-back seasons, this guy Tyrese averaged 20 and almost 11. You know what I mean? Like, you have to respect it at some point. One of the years, I think he shot over 40% from three. So it's just, you have to respect. I mean, if you know the game, you watch the game, take the bias out of it. The man he's a hooper. Like, he can play. And I just hate the disrespect towards it. Like, I just constant disrespect. And it's like, we're just going to sit up. People are just going to sit up and lie about it and act like they, you know what I mean? Like, let's stop doing that. Like, you can prop Cade up and say all that without shooting down Tyrese. He's the best player on that team.
Yeah, the Thunder are going to win this thing though. Boone in 6, just how it's going to go.
I agree, especially with the injury coming.
Yeah. Tyrese being hurt, he's going to win. They're going to win this thing. I do have something I want to show you guys here. Jeff Risden came out with an article. It's essentially 8 Lions players that have to show out in training camp and in the preseason. They have the most to prove. So I have a list of names I want to show you guys, and then we can kind of react to the names, give our thoughts on it. And then if there's anyone that you feel like should be on the list, we can talk about that, or people that you don't think should be on the list. However you want to do it. But the first player that Jeff has on this list that needs to step up training camp and preseason is Graham Glasgow. All right. He put Glasgow has an incredible range of potential outcomes for the 2025 season. The veteran could very well win the starting center job, replacing longtime running mate Frank Ragnow. Glasgow could also seize the right guard competition over a host of aspirants. The 33-year-old in July has the veteran presence and experience on his side. And I think this one is probably the one that you can't really argue with. If you talk about guys that need to prove the most, he is at the top of the list. However you want to size it and shape it, he is at the top of the list because this is a player who's coming off a rough year and someone now that you're going to be depending on a lot going into the season now with Frank out. So Graham is a couple bad games away from being out of a job here in Detroit. So, or at least a starting job. So I don't have anything to push back against this one. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's number one on the maybe not number one, but I think if you had a couple guys, I'm with him here on this. He's going to be competing, and it's tough too. He's competing with young guys, so you would expect him to win the job.
Especially, they just drafted 2 guards. I mean, it's
I think the biggest story behind it all is the fact that Graham Glasgow had a bad year last year. The fact he played so bad last season, and you've seen how good he can be. I think just kind of looking at that, it's like, dude, you can't just be like a little bit better. You have to be like drastically better for next season to be able to like hold your own and to say, hey, we can trust Graham. Because I love Graham, but last year it was tough, man. That was a tough watch. And if it's anything close to that this year, it's that you're going to be in a world of hurt, and you're going to have to be talking about Miles Frazier, Christian Mahogany, Tate Ratledge. Like you're going to have different conversations if it comes to that.
I think he's kind of the piece that not make or breaks, but is going to pretty much pan out the rest of the offensive line. I think you guys would agree, because if he goes into camp and they try him out at center and he's the best center, then you have no problem sliding in Tate Ratledge at guard. And I think you're probably sleeping pretty good at night. But if you're having some concern with Graham Glasgow at center, well, okay, we know that Graham's probably, again, he said that he's comfortable playing both positions, but Graham Glasgow is naturally a guard. And his best season has been playing at the guard spot. Even when he was originally in Detroit, he was best at guard. In Denver, he was playing center, but he was put there to play guard originally. So you put him at that right guard spot, and now you got a rookie in Tate Ratledge playing week 1 against the Green Bay Packers in a big game, a rookie playing center compared to Frank Ragnow. And you compare that to, okay, what if Graham, like if he's 33, 34 years old, whatever he is, he has a bad season, and it just kind of, you see it in the NFL all the time, it continues downward and he continues to struggle even during the games. That's when you have to have the conversation, if you're Dan Campbell, to what you were just saying, Booner. Now you get into, okay, do we have to start looking at Miles Frazier here? And I'm not saying this is going to be the case, but if he goes and has a bad camp and it continues into the regular season, now you're talking about potentially an offensive line with 2 rookies, virtually 3 with Christian Mahogany, Taylor Decker, and Penei Sewell. And that's significant when you get into the postseason. So I hope to God it goes the other way, but I was just pointing out the extreme there of like what could be if it all goes wrong. But Graham, I do have confidence somewhat of him being able to play better than he was last year at that left guard spot, considering that he's playing center and guard. I don't expect him to be dominant, though. I expect him to have some good moments where over the course of the year, probably be an average player. But at this point in his career, I think that's fair to expect being the age.
Yeah, 33 years old. I mean, you expect him to kind of get back to just being average, above average. Will he have stretches where he maybe looks, below average? Yeah, I think that's just part of it. He's not like Frank. I think we're used to certain players. They just don't have bad games. Graham's going to have bad games. So prepare for that. It comes with it. Yeah. I don't know, though. They drafted Miles Frazier. I'm curious if Graham does struggle for a maybe, let's say, like a 4-game stretch, do you have to consider maybe looking at Miles Frazier potentially?
That's why. Guard? I mean, you were looking at Christian Mahogany last year when there was an injury to Graham Glasgow, and he was a 6th-round pick out of Boston College. And now Miles Frazier, was he a 5th or 6th? I get it mixed up all the time. Hassanin was 6th. Miles Frazier was 5th, correct?
Yes.
So, okay, so let's use it. And then this year, when there's more of a concern at the offensive line, now you have a situation where you have a 5th-round pick from LSU playing at right guard next to Penei Sewell. I would be more concerned about the situation you saw last year with Christian Mahogany compared to Miles Frazier.
Yeah, I think there's a real chance Miles Frazier could see the field. I do. If Graham struggles, I wouldn't be shocked at all. The next player they have,
real quick, Javi Baez just hit another home run. This man has 2 home runs today.
Oh my God,
that's unbelievable. Xavier D, Javi Bonds.
The next player, Hendon Hooker, is on this list as well. You need to step up.
Good. Finally, someone else besides me saying, hey, Hendon and the doc too. Get this man on the block and start making this man work for his job.
Yeah.
Go ahead, take it up.
I think it's fair. It is completely fair. Right. We talked about this earlier too. Like Hendon, although he has not had, he wasn't drafted to a situation where he was going to become the starter. He was still drafted to a situation where he could develop. It was a very good situation for him.
Yeah.
Like having Jared Goff, having Ben Johnson there initially, Dan Campbell, all the weapons. Like he was in a very good, Mark Brunell. So although he hasn't been able to start, there is no excuse why he can't develop. There's no reason why. The Lions can have a very good quarterback and maybe a guy that has promise or a good quarterback. And if he isn't, then that's on him, man. He just stinks. I don't know what to tell you. He stinks. He's not taking Jared Goff's job at this point, but
we need to clip that forever. Can we get that as a soundbite? Can you say Hendon Hooker stinks? Can you just say that real quick?
No. I'm not going to say he stinks. I said if it doesn't happen, then you just got to say the guy stinks. Like if he doesn't step up for training camp and preseason, he might just stink. So, well, don't worry.
I don't know if he stinks. I just think it's like, dude, you're not. I don't know, man. How many quarterbacks work out in the NFL? Jeff, you've been the one, Jeff, that's told me that a million times.
It's not a high rate. It's not a high rate. The reason why I was high, I liked Hendon, is because of what he was at Tennessee. I liked what I saw. He was an electric player. He had a cannon of an arm, mobile and everything, and
had it all.
And so I was excited when Brad drafted him. Obviously, we believe in Brad drafting players, so I was excited, and it just might just not work out. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens here at training camp in preseason. Last year he was kind of shaky training camp, had a pretty good preseason. People liked it. Now I need to see a lot more positive. I gotta see it. But
listen, Jeff, I'm gonna say this at the end of the day. You draft quarterbacks to either develop or to be your backup. In my opinion, I'm not, and this is just me, I would rather my backup quarterback have NFL experience. Point. Like
Kyle Allen does bring that.
That's what at the end of the day, and I'm not saying I want Kyle Allen. I would love other guys. I've said I wanted Jameis. Teddy Bridgewater. I liked him because of that. But the thing is, it's like Hendon. You keep talking about, and they keep saying, "Hey, he's learning. He's learning. This is year 3, man." And I know it takes some time for some quarterbacks, Jordan Love, like specific guys. I get that. But when you have a guy that's 26, 27 years old, almost hitting 30 in a couple years, that you're sitting there going, let him develop, let him develop. To me, it's like, hey, a 23, 24-year-old quarterback, those are the developmental guys. That's what it is. But at this age, man, like he has no experience playing in the NFL, and you want to trust going into a Super Bowl year for a second year that's the guy, even though they just keep questioning, hey, is it development? I think it's like, hey, either cut ties or trade. Like you have to, it has to be one or the other, unless they really think he could be a starter. But at the end of the day, that's just like, you're going to tell me a guy, let's say Jared Goff, the next 3 years is your quarterback. What is he going to be? Hendon Hooker's 30. Jared Goff moves on. You're going to sit there and say, hey, your franchise guy's a 30-year-old quarterback that's never played a snap.
Seen the field.
Yeah, not even a journeyman. A journeyman is at least a guy who like has seen the field and gotten snaps. This guy hasn't taken a snap. Not a snap in an NFL game.
And
even when he had an opportunity to, they had Teddy.
At that point, you'd rather have a guy coming out of college because he's been playing recently, in my opinion, Boone.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Yeah, I'll just say it. It's not looking good.
No, I think it's
Whether
done.
that's Bryce Perkins, Kyle Allen, or someone else.
Cody Angle said trade him for what? Chuck E. Cheese tokens? I don't know. I mean, I guess you because the thing comes down to you cut him. A team's gonna pick him up because of the talent he has posed, but it's just he's been in the building. Jeff, my problem is going into year 2 when he was supposed to be developed, they still had to bring in Teddy like that, and I get it. It's like, hey, you want experience in the playoffs? That's the point. And I think that's the point going into year 3. It's like, thank you. That's the point. You're laying it out there for me. The Hendon Hooker fans are. So I'm out on it. I am. I'm out on the Hendon Hooker experience. We'll see him in the camp. I'm pumped up.
Well, the next player Jeff has, Broderick Martin.
Cut.
Big Broderick.
Practice squad.
Yeah, I you know what I think about Broderick? I think he's going to get cut before the season starts.
For sure.
I think he's a cut candidate. And I know you're going to probably take a cap hit, but let's just look at the reality. Or practice squad, probably more realistic. No one's going to pick him up, though, on the practice squad, so it's probably better just to put him on the practice squad. But you look at the defensive tackle room, Aleem, DJ, Tyleek, Mekhi Wingo, Roy Lopez, Levi Onwuzurike, Josh can play inside. Where's he playing? You know what I mean? Where is he playing? At that, it's he's an uphill battle.
Just not.
He's not beating any of those guys.
So unless there's like, never mind. Take it back. I was gonna say, unless there's injuries, there were injuries last year and the guy didn't play. I'd rather have.
He did play, Boone. He did play. He played against the Green Bay Packers and he got cooked. He was dog food.
I would rather Pat
O'Connor. It is interesting to me that the doc was at minicamp, and in minicamp, he said that Broderick looked good. And I'm like, here we go again. Is this a Josh Pascal, Levi O situation going into year 3? Or is this just
worse? It's worse, Boone, because at least those guys were going to be on the field and have been on the field. Broderick Martin was a 3rd-round pick, so he went a round later than both of those guys. He was a 3rd-round pick. He was a 4th.
Yeah, he was a 3rd-round pick with Hendon.
Yeah, 3rd-round pick out of Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers. And yeah, that was it. I mean, it's pretty much Broderick Martin was drafted. He played against the Packers, and that's going to be the wrap. Even last year going into the season, with guys like Kyle Pecco, there was not a clear spot for Broderick Martin. There just wasn't. And now you bring in Tyleek. You pretty much keep all the other guys. You lose Pecco. You gain Roy Lopez. There's just not enough space, and he's just going to be ultimately – Brad Holmes has hit a ton through the NFL draft. He's been one of the best drafters, if not the best drafters, since he's been the GM of the Detroit Lions, but he's going to miss picks. And Broderick Martin will probably be the one that sticks out the most through Brad's tenure, because I think even Ennis Rakestraw, the fact that he's going to be coming back this year and most likely, knock on wood, in case of an injury, he'll be on the field playing. Broderick Martin just won't be.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that a 3rd-round pick could get cut, but it's just the reality of it, you know? And I got to say for Brad, he's not going to hit on every pick, so I'm not going to sit here and harp on Brad missing, but yeah, it is unfortunate, you know? It's the same round that Kirby Joseph came out of, and now you're going to cut probably Broderick Martin, and I think in the future, Hendon Hooker, unless he just shocks everyone, it's probably not looking good for him either. So it's tough. That draft, some of those mid picks, those mid-round picks, ain't looking
interesting.
We'll see. Giovanni Manu, just wait. He's the bright side. Oh my gosh! Shout out to Caleb Daniels.
Whoa!
Shout out to him. Shout out
Caleb Daniels. Thank you so much, man. 50 bomb. Oh my gosh, the 50 bomb. All right, Caleb Daniels. I don't think I've seen Caleb in here before, but appreciate you, brother.
As well.
He says, love the channel. Thoughts on St. Louis Rams wide receiver Chris Givens? Givens.
I'm not familiar with Chris Givens.
I just know that I don't know why. I know he went to Wake Forest. I couldn't tell you what he did with the Rams. I do not know why. Let me look. Let's look at what Chris Givens did statistically.
He didn't do too much statistically after St. Louis. I mean, he was with the Ravens in 2015, but that was
there's got to be something behind this. This is a great poll, as some would say, but I'm not hip to Chris Givens' game. I'll be honest there.
That is a ball nowhere poll though.
Yeah,
Chris
Givens out of Wake Forest ran a 4.41.
And I'm pretty sure it's smaller too.
Dang, what a poll! I mean, we'll talk Chris Givens, man. I mean, if you appreciate it, later. Yeah, appreciate
shout out to him, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome. The next player Jeff has on here, Trevor Nowatzki, your boy.
Boom.
There we go. Talk to me, Trevor.
Trevor.
I should hit him up again. We got to get Trevor on the show, man.
We do.
That needs to be a one we need to get. I don't know why we haven't yet. That's really just me fumbling the bag at the end of the day.
No, Boone. It's all right. We'll get him.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor.
Keep applying the pressure.
I will say this about Trevor Nowatzki. As looking at this linebacker room, he's good depth, man. You know, last year he had some he had some good moments for sure. Had some good moments. They probably depended on him more than they probably should. Like, I think he was playing out of his spot. He's probably more just a good backup, and he started a lot of games. But I thought he held his own at times. I did. And I like that he's in the room. You're looking around the room, Anzo, with this contract stuff. You have Malcolm Rodriguez out for the first, couple of months. So when you talk about depth, if there is an injury, at least you have a guy that played a lot last year. So I like it.
I think Trevor, and maybe this is just a slap you take for Trevor, but I think Trevor makes the 53 man. I just don't see a world. I think he's at this point in his career to where he's kind of a proven kind of depth piece, not a proven linebacker to start, but a depth piece to where, like, look at it. Like, the Arizona Cardinals drop him, and guess what? He signs with the Lions 53-man roster. The beginning of the year last year, Klotz, you can't say no to this. The Lions roster coming out of training camp was the best roster in the NFL. And guess who made that 53-man roster? There was no injuries. Guess who made that 53-man roster?
Let me guess.
Trevor Nowatzki. So when you're talking about, like, the bet, like, he's a depth piece. And when you look at 45 to 53, 40 to 53, guys like Trevor, that's your depth. That's your, and I hate the fact that you're, like, acting like it's a crazy take. He's one of your best special teams players as well. And the reason you let go of Germ, the reason Germ's no longer on this team is because of a guy like Trevor Nowatzki at the end of the day. If Germ was on this team, I would say, no, Trevor is going to have to battle. They let go of Germ for a reason, because they feel like Trevor Nowatzki is now that next man, and they trust him. They didn't go get him from Arizona and put him on the 53-man last year and let him get all those reps for nothing. Think about guys they brought in, like big time players, that linebackers that you loved, Klotz. Oh, these are Klotzy guys, and they bring them in last year. Oh, these are great signings, great vet signings. Jamal Adams, so cool. He's gonna play. He's gonna play Sam for the Lions. He's gonna be so good. Guess who beat them out? And guess Quan Alexander. But guess why those guys got cut? Because of Trevor Nowatzki. David Long lost his spot because of Trevor Nowatzki. At some point, you need to put some respect on some guys' names. Put a little bit of respect on Trevor Nowatzki's name. All right? He will. I'll guarantee it, and it's a lock. He is on the 53-man roster.
Hey, Boone.
He's on vacation this week, I saw. He's not on vacation if he doesn't think he's on a 53, if he's on the cut line. He knows he's on the roster. He's enjoying his week off.
Hey, Boone, I was just trolling you. I wanted a passionate Trevor Nowatzki take from you. I completely agree with everything that you're saying. I was saying it earlier when we were talking with Hefe, and it's just what he did last year, to your point. He was better than David Long. He was better than Quan Alexander. He was better than Jamal Adams. He was better than Ben Neiman. And he was better than Germ, obviously, on special teams at this point. Germ's getting a little older. But I think he's going to be one of those guys where they're going to bring in some different linebackers through the years. But I don't see Trevor Nowatzki, unless he wants to go play somewhere else, that he leaves this roster anytime soon. Like, I think the value brings on special teams for one, but he can play off the ball. And say there's an injury to Derek Barnes again this year. Obviously, I wasn't the biggest fan of the whole signing, but I want Derek Barnes to go out there and play some good fucking football. And I hope that he stays healthy. But God forbid there's an injury. Trevor Nowatzki is somebody that at this point you can depend on for a game or two. If it needs to be longer, he played virtually every game last year after Derek Barnes went out. He's somebody that you can depend on. So I don't see him leaving anytime soon. I don't want to use like a Dan Skipper comparison. I'm trying to think of like another guy that, he's not like going to be a big player for this team, but that when his number is called on, he's dependable. Like I
literally think Germ. I think Germ was just, he's old. He's like past his age. And I think Trevor's a younger Germ.
I think that's a fair compliment.
They should give him a deal, to be honest. Well, I think he's on the final year. I want to double check that.
You're paying him pennies, man. And you're not going to have to pay him much in general.
The people mentioned Grant Stewart. I did not mention him when I was talking about the linebackers, but even though they play different positions, Grant Stewart is in that conversation. Not for Sam, but for in the linebacker room. So shout out Grant Stewart, formerly of the Colts.
Shout out.
Want to make sure I show love there. But the next player that Jeff has on here, and by the way, Zach Cunningham too. Forgot about that one. Josh Paschal. Another one.
Another Hefe guy.
Yeah, I'm out on Josh, man. I went through it last offseason where I was hyped for Josh, and it just so happens that he had a massive opportunity to go out there and prove me right. And he didn't really do that. So I'm Josh. I think, will he have a career in the NFL? I think so. He's a good role player. Think teams would love to have him, but is he worth a second round pick? Absolutely not. Yeah. Is there another step he can take? Sure, but it would be a shock to everyone if he goes out there this year and gets like 6 sacks. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I told you it was coming. I would be shocked given what I've seen out of Josh. I think he's solid, but
I think if you take the what is it called, the label of second round pick off of him, and you remove that, Josh Paschal is a solid depth piece in a D line. Like you don't want him, you don't want him starting, and that's exactly what happened last year. He ended up being one of your starting defensive linemen coming off the edge when he's not really he's a tweener. It's just you don't know kind of. I think one thing he's really good at, and which this team loves, is run defense. I think he's really good at run defense, which is a positive. But it's just getting to the quarterback is kind of that weakness that we haven't been able to see yet, especially for a second round guy. So if you take that away, I think like what he brings in the run game is like, hey, you can have that on your team. Like I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting an extension just very cheap in Detroit, just based off of, hey, he's been here. He's not a bad player. I think a lot of people have the narrative because he's a second round pick that he's a bad player. And if you actually understand like what he's doing, he's not bad. Like he could play for you. And I think he's a guy like you keep around over the next few years. Yeah, he does have a lot to prove just because of that second round label. But outside of that, I think he's just a good role guy on this team. You don't ever want him starting, but just having him in that, if you do have a healthy team, that it's a great guy to be able to kind of rotate in when he needs to step up.
Yeah, that's all he is. And it's kind of Ben Blue says what you've been saying, Klotzy. Maybe a different scheme he would benefit in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they just expected him to kind of develop more as a pass rusher, to Boone's point. And through the injuries, he is undersized, but he's good against the run, but he's just not big enough or fast enough at this point to be an edge guy. Like, send him down to a 3-4 scheme and just let him defend the run and plug gaps, and that's what he'll be good at. So I wouldn't be surprised, just because of that reason, if Detroit doesn't sign him and Josh wants to go play somewhere else. Maybe for a little bit more money. And I wouldn't be surprised if they extend him either. But
so I want to get through these last two players. Ennis Rakestraw, the next player. Ennis Rakestraw, I will say, out of all the players that are going into training camp, I'm probably the most excited about Ennis Rakestraw.
Yeah.
Because I look at this cornerback room and, they have a lot of promise, and I'm excited. I'm more excited about them this year than I've been in the past. They just haven't really been a good passing defense, whether that's because of the guys up front or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But this is probably the first year I've really looked at this cornerback room, and I've been really excited. Combined with what you have at safety, like, I think if Ennis turns into what the Lions think he can be, then I think you have 3 legit starting corners. Like, I think that's really good. Or 4, including Amik, plays nickel. But yeah, outside corners. But 4 solid, really good corners. So that's the player I'll probably be paying most attention to when we go out there, is Ennis Rakestraw. I want to see how he looks. He's been working his tail off. I know he's been posting about it. Teammates have been talking about him. I want to see this dude flourish, because if he does, it's going to be even bigger for the secondary. I do believe that. So they need some dudes on the outside. We don't want to have any more Kindle Vildor situations where maybe a back of corners in and it just looks awful. If you have Ennis as like kind of that 6-man coming off, play in different situations, different sets, then you're in a pretty good place, man, if he's pretty good.
I think the thing with Ennis is just he has such a high ceiling. It just comes down to his injuries. Like, can he stay healthy? I think that was the thing at Missouri too with him. And I think it all came down to was like he was injured quite a bit. And that was, again, I say this every time we talk Ennis going into this year. That was why his draft stock dropped. And that was why we didn't have him going in the first round. And we always had that conversation. If he could stay healthy for a full season, especially in a year 2, I think this guy is going to be very good. I think there's a reason he was in the second round, even with injuries, is he is just that good. So if you can get him healthy, it's going to be a problem. There's going to be a battle in there. Like, Amik's going to be battling for a spot. I just don't know how they're going to do it, because he's playing outside. So it's like DJ Reed. I mean, I think it was Brad or no, it was someone mentioned him, DJ Reed potentially playing nickel. And it's just like guys are going to have to get moved around if Ennis. I think that's like the biggest X factor in this secondary, is if Ennis ends up being as good as we think he can be, who's the odd man out? Because you're not leaving a guy, Ennis Rakestraw, with that ceiling off the field.
No.
You're really not.
And the other part, too, of it is the Lions. A lot of people view the Eagles and the Lions as the top 2 teams in the NFC. And who did the Eagles take last year? First 2 picks, they took Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. And what did Cooper DeJean do in the Super Bowl this year? Took a pick 6 back. Quinyon went through the regular season without interception. First game in the playoffs against the Packers, gets his first career interception in a game where we watched Terrion. And he had some good moments, like tackling Zach Ertz right before got in the red zone. But then Jeff brings it up a lot. In that playoff game, there was times where Terrion got lost. And that whole conversation is going to follow these 2 guys' career with Ennis Rakestraw and Terrion the whole time that Quinyon and Cooper DeJean are going to be progressing and probably getting better. Now, I expect Ennis and Terrion both to get better, but that's going to be a narrative around the Lions, around the NFC, about those draft picks. So for Ennis to be able to get on track as far as getting his development going, looking like he can take over a corner spot, because Amik, he's only got a couple more years. I believe next year is his last year under contract with the team. He's probably, after his play here, is going to be able to command more money from other teams around the NFL and with the Lions. So if you can trust Rakestraw to go prove himself on the outside and hang out there with Terrion, and then you slide DJ Reed, who's going to be getting older anyways, so it's probably going to be going in the nickel for him regardless because how he plays. That's a much better situation than going to try to either sign another free agent corner or go draft another corner they have to develop. So Rakestraw, I think, is pivotal for the quote-unquote window that this Detroit Lions team has, especially after they pay Hutch.
By the way, I mean, it's just.
I don't know. Who's Caleb Daniels, man? This guy is unbelievable.
Caleb Daniels.
Dude, what is going on right now?
Are we being tested by Caleb right now?
Yeah, this is something. Shout out to him.
Yeah. Wow. Caleb, we appreciate the absolute hell out of you. He said, can you guys talk about Sam Rosen briefly? I think he's a really underrated announcer, but he doesn't announce anymore. He used to. Well, Sam Rosen used to do Rangers games.
I don't know anything about Sam Rosen.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm very familiar with Sam Rosen.
At the
end of the day, Sam Rosen deserves a little bit of respect. Can we all agree with that?
Yes, yeah. He's a Hall of Famer. So
put some respect on his name, man.
Definitely deserves respect. He definitely deserves respect. So, I mean, Caleb, not only is Caleb showing the boys love, he's also educating the boys. So, I respect that.
Shout out to him.
Sam Rosen.
He's a savant.
Yeah. I mean, we have Chris Givens and Sam Rosen from Caleb Daniels. I mean, just two.
He's throwing them out there, and he's really testing the fellas. I respect that.
I don't think I've heard too much of Sam Rosen, if I'm being honest. I don't really. I mean, maybe you caught him when the Wings played the Rangers, or they were playing at MSG, but yeah, no. He was inducted into the National Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, though, in 2008. So good for him.
I'll tell you what, if you guys want to know something about the Rangers, I know someone in my family that is related to Pat LaFontaine, Rangers legend. Right? We can get him on the show too if we want to. If we want to get a Rangers legend, I think he has and someone told me this. My family had mentioned Pat LaFontaine. I believe out of American hockey players, he is I think top 5 in points or goals or something. Like he's up there. All-time NHL legend. Pat LaFontaine. So I met him last year, and he's very good dude. Very good dude. So, and he actually said, I'll come on your guys' show. I love that.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Very good dude. All NHL legend though, hockey legend, Pat LaFontaine. So I'm guessing Sam Rosen, was the announcer at the same time as Pat, so we can ask Pat about it. We can have that conversation with Pat.
I love that. We got 2 more left. We can get through, and then we'll move on here. Colby Sorsdahl, another guy. If I'm being honest, fellas, cut watch. Maybe he won't be cut because of how bad the depth or how bad they need depth right now. But yeah, this is one of those picks. He wasn't a 3rd round pick, but you just got to kind of be like, hey, throw it up. The guy stinks. You know what I mean? I think we can admit that he was a reserve tackle last year. So yeah, it's over for Colby Sorsdahl. There was a time it was a time we were excited about Colby, but that is over. So
yeah, it's when you weren't on the show last week, Jeff, we actually did surprise cuts, and I brought Colby and Broderick. I don't know if it's surprise, but I think in the sense of when they were picked, and people last year or 2 years ago at the time, if I would have said, hey, Colby and Broderick are cut in 2 years, you'd be like, whoa, what?
Yeah, I mean, you got Manu taking that tackle spot, and Cologne taking that guard spot, center spot. So yeah, it's probably over there. And then the last player, Lauren Strickland. So Lauren Strickland, another one, keep an eye out on because that safety depth. You never know. I like Lauren Strickland. He worked at Target. Now he's in the NFL.
I mean, Chris Platty,
college ball, worked at Target.
I think he was on the same shift as Chris.
He probably was, honestly. Real quick before we move on, the perfect time to tell you about the sponsor of the show, and that is Comer and Cross. Let me tell you about them, because a one-day installation? Are you kidding me? Concrete floor coatings, garages, basement, and patios. I know you guys are sick of staring at your crack-stained garage floor, or even worse, peeling epoxy or chip paint that's making your whole garage look terrible. Well, right now, Comer & Cross and their summer installation sale, they're offering 12 months, same as cash, or $500 in savings. You can call the number 248-834-3488. They transform patios, pool decks, basements, even driveways. I know you guys need work done. They're the perfect people to contact. They move the stuff out for you. They'll repair your cracks and pits before applying your stunning new floor. Guaranteed. Comer & Cross concrete floors, they never chip, crack, or peel like epoxy or paint. with 12 months, same as cash or $500 off during their summer installation sale. Why wait? Call 248-834-3488. That's 248-834-3488. Or you can book your free estimate at comercross.com.
Can I
Back to the show.
Can I say something about that?
Appreciate that. Hey, appreciate Comer and Cross response.
Yes. Can I say something? If I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but this idea, my brain is full of ideas. If you get some new cement or something done with them,
yeah,
the first person to hit us up that they do it, I say we go there and we do it like a ribbon cutting for your new cement.
That would be
the boys will show up. As long as you're in a good driving area, around the city of Detroit, and you get this done, the first person who hits us up with it, we can't do everyone because then we're probably going to get a lot going. First person, though, message us, tell us, hey, I'm getting concrete from them. We'll do a ribbon cutting.
I mean, how many people do you guys know that have cracked, chipped garage floors or basements?
That just need it. They need
but
it.
You contact Comer and Cross, they'll fix all that. All right, they'll take care of them. So
and you might be lucky enough. Maybe we'll do a ribbon cut in there. Big scissors. We'll go get some big scissors. We'll bring the ribbon. We'll do a ribbon cutting. I hope whoever does it too has a basketball court we can hoop after too. That would be sick.
Yeah, your backyard. Your backyard. Get that concrete. You have a backyard court. Get it all.
Get it done.
Up.
Comer and Cross. Oh, I would love that. That'd be so sick.
Hey, let me say this, fellas. When we talked about players that are on cut watch. When we look at players on the Lions and we talk about important players, specifically role players, I want to do something fun today where I'm going to ask you, fellas, in the chat, in your opinion, who's the most important role player for the offense and the defense? Most important role player. I think can we mutually agree what that looks like? So role player meaning we'll start with like offense, like no Goff, no Amon-Ra, no Sam Laporta, like none of these star players. Okay. So take out the stars. In your mind, who's the most important role player? A big time player that you're looking forward to seeing that I think could make a pretty big impact there. I will. You know what I'll say on offense? I don't know how many answers you guys can come up with. I got one good one, and I think it's probably the most important one, and we just talked about him. It's Graham Glasgow. He's the most important role player because if that dude's playing to his typical standard, I think you're in a lot better of a position than if he were to shit the bed. So I think there is when you talk about role players, Graham is the perfect role player. He's got versatility. He's got experience. If he can play center and be solid at it, I think it'll be better for Tate Ratledge to just play guard and then eventually take over center. I think it'll just be better for the O-line having him out there. So to me, when we talk about role players, importance, I'm going to rock with Graham on this one, man. I think there's a lot riding on him to have a bounce back year. So,
Jomo said, is Graham a starter? Yeah, he is. I would consider him a role player. I would. I would think at least. I'm going to go off. We're doing offense first, right?
Yeah, let's go offense first. I'm going to go Graham.
I think there's an easy one as well on offense outside of Graham. You can go wide receivers. I think you're just stacked at wide receiver, so I think it's hard to say Tim or Isaac Tesla.
Isaac.
Give me. Yeah, I think it's tough at that point because you're so good at the wide receiver spot. Give me David Montgomery. Give me your RB2. I think that might be, if you're talking about role players and best role player on your team offensively, David's the one. Like, he's at the top of the list. And I think the best thing about David Montgomery is he has RB1 material. Like, and most teams he'd be an RB1. He gives Jameer, like, typically Jameer on a different team, you might see more injuries. You might see a higher workload. And, he might not have that life, that shelf that you're looking for in a guy like him. David Montgomery kind of alleviates all of that. If he's healthy and he alleviates everything with Jameer. Like, in my opinion, Jameer's elite, but to get to that next level, you want to have him fresh constantly. He's constantly fresh because of one guy, David Montgomery. And that guy will go out there, and if he needs to in a season, he'll get you 1,000. He'll get you 15 touchdowns if needed, but he doesn't need to. And I think that's like the most important thing with the role player is like, hey, if you have a role player that could be a starter in the league, that might be the best role player in the NFL, in my opinion. I would have to throw D-Mont in that conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anyone on this offense as a role player that is that much better than David Montgomery at the end of the day.
Listen, he might not be as good as David Montgomery, but the disrespect you just pulled for Tim Patrick is just
I didn't say anything bad about Tim Patrick.
You're too stacked at the wide receiver room. Tim
You
Patrick, Isaac Tesla.
A 300-yard
Listen.
wide receiver is your best role player, isn't that? That's
No,
not-
wait, is it important? Are we going important?
Oh, important? Yeah, I mean,
No, I'm
important.
not arguing.
D-Mont's
to you
way
that-
more
that-
important.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that at
okay.
all. But to just brush over Tim Patrick in the manner that you did, I find
No, it wasn't a
disrespectful,
negative way.
Especially, you know what you're not thinking about, Boone? It's not TP17 anymore, okay? It's TP12. He's in his Tom Brady, Terry Bradshaw, John Stockton, Roger Staubach.
Oh my!
He's
God.
in that type of
Glad you did your
era for
research,
Tim
class.
Patrick right now. We're not about to see 300 yards from Tim Patrick. We're about to see 350. And we're about to see even more down the field blocking for David Montgomery,
change.
your role player, and Jahmyr Gibbs. And we're going to see this connection between him and Jared Goff. Oh, it's going to become important. When we're talking about Graham Glasgow, Tate Ratledge, Tim Patrick getting the ball out quick. Who's the easiest target on the wide receiver core to throw to just off size? It's Tim Patrick. And he doesn't drop the ball. You know how many drops he had for the Detroit Lions this year, fellas?
Oh, man.
Guess,
Zero.
Jeff. Guess.
0.
It's a great guess. Jeff, you're correct. We don't
How many
even
targets did he have?
We got it right away.
How many
Zero
targets? How many targets did he have?
I couldn't tell you, but he got enough, and he didn't drop
Right.
one of them. That's all reliable out there. That's what you're looking for. They
Yeah, if I
wanted
got
in
one target a
DPJ,
game, I would hope I
You
catch
found
20.
it. You found it in
No
Tim
Chris
Patrick. His
Gibbons.
2-touchdown game against Chicago Bears, pivotal in the outcome of the season. Okay, we're talking about a great wide receiver 3 here in Tim Patrick, and I will not continue to sit here and hear the slander. We haven't talked about him at all. He's going to have a nice game and a big game. Tim Patrick's going to have his biggest game, and the legend of Tim Patrick, TP12, will be cemented even more in the city of Detroit. Tim Patrick.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
this
no,
guy's
Klotz.
like a myth.
You
Yeah.
know, you did. I mean, this guy is acting like we're saying. Like you would think that Tim Patrick's going to be the MVP this year, the way you just acted.
350 to 400. Book it.
He's probably he's a good role player. Is he the most important? No.
He was
No.
talking about him like he's some like tall tale, like it's like the legend of like
The
Tim
Utah
Patrick.
Ute, the man out of Utah who won 2 seasons without dropping a pass in Denver.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
Now
good.
his
He's
eyes in
got good hands.
Detroit.
Congrats. So does Amon Ra.
Yeah, you know Amon Ra, but he's in a tier of his own when it comes to wide receiver 3s. Name me a wide receiver 3 you'd rather have.
Give me the wide receiver 3 out of the Bengals. I can't remember his name. But
Yoti
he's-
Voss?
No,
better.
I'll take Tim Patrick. I think Tim Patrick's probably one of the best wide receiver 3s in the league, honestly.
Oh, reliable.
He
Oh,
is.
reliable.
I mean, I know it's not like saying much. I mean, wide receiver 3s aren't, but still, like out of every wide receiver 3, I mean,
Tim Patrick put Yossi
Josh
Voss
Palmer?
on the side of a milk carton. Hey, you know I'm
Yeah.
a Josh Palmer guy.
Yeah,
Give
I
me
like-
Tim
Give me
Patrick.
Josh Palmer over. That's
Josh
his
Palmer's
one.
running with 2 knee braces on, bud. He ain't got it
He's
no more.
better than Tim Patrick.
No, give me Tim Patrick.
He had 600
Present
yards
day,
last
when
year.
we're sitting here, June 17th, 2025, give me Tim Patrick.
Would you take Amari Cooper over him?
I'd probably
Amari
take Amari
Cooper.
Cooper over Tim Patrick.
Alan
He's not a wide
Lazard,
receiver 3.
No. Nah,
600
Alan
yards, 6 touchdowns last year.
No,
Yeah,
you gotta go
12
wide
games.
receiver 3,
600
man.
yards in 12 games.
Give me Tim Patrick.
Yeah, now I see what's happening here. You don't really believe it. You said
I
some
do.
blasphemy
Hey,
stuff.
Tim Patrick's one of
He's
my
a
guys
good
on this team.
number 3, but
Great wide receiver. 3.
you look at wide receiver 3s around the NFL, like JT Olsen, Emeka Ibuka. Give me Emeka Ibuka over
Yeah, I would
Tim
say there's
Patrick.
probably 5 to 7 guys, maybe.
I don't know, man.
Boone, you're like acting like this dude. I mean, the guy's like good. He's really
You're
good.
talking about the
It's
third best
disrespect.
wide
This is
receiver on
disrespect.
every team, like the Bills with Josh Palmer. I'm taking Josh Palmer.
You said Amari
No
Cooper. that's not
way,
even
no
right.
how.
It's
Amari Cooper would be a wide
No,
receiver.
he's a wide
3.
receiver.
Would you rather take Nick Westbrook, Akine, or Keen?
No, give me Tim Patrick.
You would take Tim Patrick over a 500 yards, 9
'cause
touchdown
looking,
player.
You're looking at
Yeah, you're
strictly
looking at-
yards off a
yeah,
dude who
you're-
had
Look at Tim Patrick with
and
Denver,
the Tennessee
boy.
Titans.
Look at Tim
Good
Patrick with Denver.
Lord.
Go look at
Good
Tim Patrick with Denver,
Lord.
Boone. Go look
Yeah,
at Tim Patrick with
that's
Denver.
in Denver. We're talking about today's
If you want to go
NFL.
yards, the guy had yards before he got to the
That was years ago. We're talking about like
because he has a
now.
different role. He's not asked to do that.
Exactly. But
weapons everywhere.
there are
Fight this battle
players.
for me.
Yeah,
Fight this
yeah,
battle
Jeff.
for me.
3 years ago, yes, you would say that. But in today's NFL, there
Tim
are now
Patrick-
players that are better than him. Just
Tim
because he did it
Patrick-
3 years. Look at him in
Tim
Denver.
came in
In
off the
Denver,
couch
okay.
and gave you
Come
exactly
on.
what you needed for this wide receiver room. He gives
Give
you
me DeAndre
exactly what you
Hopkins
need.
over Tim Patrick. He's the wide receiver
Not
3 in
present day.
Baltimore.
He ain't the wide receiver 3.
No,
In
he's a wide receiver
Baltimore?
2 in Baltimore, bro.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
I
give me
agree.
Rashad
Yeah.
Bateman. Give me Rashad Bateman
Rashad
over
Bateman,
him,
Rashad
who had
Slater,
800
Rashad
yards and
Bateman
9
can't catch a
touchdowns
cold when
last
it
year.
matters. Zay
Who had
Flowers
800
this
yards and
year.
9 touchdowns last year.
Okay, how about
Rely
this?
You guys are throwing
Tim
throwing
Patrick.
statements out there you don't know what
No,
you're
no.
talking about
No,
before
I
doing
do. I do.
research.
He is
No,
definitely
give
one of
me
the best wide receivers.
TP12.
Let me ask you
What about
this.
in Houston? Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins. Give me one of the.
Dell's-
Give me their
Tank
wide
Dell's
receiver
knees-
3.
Knees blown apart.
Give me
but
Give me Jaden Higgins. Well, you all said that
be
this
the wide
summer.
receiver 2.
You all
Yeah,
said that this
keep
summer. Do
going,
you want to go
Myron.
to Kansas City? Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown. Give me who's the wide receiver 3 there. Give me that wide
Probably
receiver 3.
Hollywood Brown.
I've named 6 teams
Boone,
where you're
here's the
taking
thing.
them. You said he's the
You're
best
looking
in
at
the,
all
in the
these
NFL.
guys, and you're looking at stats, and you're looking at what they did
Lions
last
slappy.
year.
Keep slapping.
The
Keep slapping.
Tim Patrick. Here's the thing that you're just like not
It's a
comprehending
slappy
at all.
take.
What
I'm
the
supposed to be the
Detroit
slappy?
Lions need, because the Lions, unlike a lot of these other teams, have an elite wide receiver.
Oh.
1, and they have a very, very good wide receiver 2,
Okay.
and they have an all-pro level wide receiver or tight end.
And listen,
So
too,
all
Ben
you
Blues.
need all you need out of this wide receiver 3 is what the whole time. Even with DJ Chark, there's a reason they didn't re-sign DJ Chark, because he couldn't block. When they bring in Donovan Peoples-Jones, he can't catch the ball. Now you have a guy that can do both every week for you, and every pass that you throw, he's going to catch.
Okay,
And
he's very
also
reliable.
6'5".
Fair, but there
That's
are
what
players.
I'm
There are
saying.
wide.
If you-
Let's not say he's the best wide receiver 3 in the NFL. He's not. He's a very solid wide receiver 3
He's one
that's
of the best.
trustworthy.
He's an elite
the-
wide
no, he's
receiver
not.
3.
No, he's not. He's a good wide receiver 3. He's a
gonna say
very reliable wide receiver 3.
I'm not going to say he's
Which
one
I-
of the best. He's definitely top like 6 or 7. I
Okay,
said top
let's go.
7.
We're talking about. And by the way, Ben Blue in there is saying X wide receivers. We're not talking just X's. We're talking wide receiver 3s on team depth chart. Who's the
So
third
how
best
about
wide
this?
receiver on that team? You're not doing that.
Just so we can move on, and just so we clarify, because now, because one, I know. Where do you say he would rank wide receiver 3s? Where do you think?
Top 15, like I'd put him maybe just outside the top 10. Dude, there's good wide receiver. If we're not just talking X, if we're talking like slat X, everything, dude, there are some very good wide receiver 3s out there that like Tim Patrick in his prime. In his prime, Jeff, if you want to go 3 years ago, then okay, we can do that. But we're talking about today and the team he's in. Yeah, you have to look at yards and what he can do. You look at both. He had 300 yards. Like,
But
there's wide receiver 3s out there who have had 800 yards last year and almost 10 touchdowns, and they're wide receiver 3 on their team.
That's not. No, that's not. Wide receiver 3s aren't.
Give
But do they have an
me
all-pro tight end
Patrick.
and 2?
But that's not the point. You don't take away from the situation like
Yeah,
that.
it does. I mean, the guy's playing talent everywhere.
Okay. You know what? You're trying.
Is that
You guys are
not how it
slappy.
works,
That's a
though?
slappy take saying he's Tim Patrick, the top
I mean,
5
it
wide
is-
receiver 3 in the NFL.
I said he's
I
not.
think he's
on-
good, and I don't want
Wide
people to think I
receiver
don't like Tim. I love Tim Patrick,
You
but
should.
there,
He's good. He's good. He's actually really good, I think, as a wide receiver 3.
he's
really
good. Yeah, no, he's solid. He's a solid wide receiver 3. He's reliable. Is he very, very, very good for you? No, but there are wide receiver 3s out there who are.
Yeah. Okay. There's some guys. I'll take,
Put him
not
in from 10 to putting him in 10 to 15 is, I think, very, very
Hey,
good. I think that's
now
good
you
for
move
him.
down 10 to 15. I like that.
No, I top
getting
15.
close.
So
And
if I did,
let's
I
stop
didn't say
saying
he's
300
15.
yards. Stop saying 300 yards when it's
said 15.
394. Let's put some respect on
Okay.
that man's statistics.
In the yards, I
like Klotz, are you taking
Well,
who's a better player? I'm not talking about just as an X. I'm talking about a better player. Like, who would you rather have, Ricky Pearsall or Tim Patrick?
Ricky, because age for sure.
That's one right there again. I've named multiple, and
Ricky-
Klotz has already said it. There's already been 5 ahead of him.
Ricky's like
It's not
that-
disrespectful.
I understand what you're saying. But I'm looking at Tim Patrick, what he does for this team. He's great at
Very
everything
good.
that you ask him to do.
Yes. Again,
As a wide
reliable
receiver
and
three.
consistent.
So there's going to be, again, those slot guys that you have as far as that are quicker and can be able to do more at this point in their career. But Tim Patrick, for what you're asking him to do, he can do everything at a very high level. Like if J-Mo or Amon-Ra were to go down for a game, I would be very more than confident Tim Patrick stepping in for as a wide receiver 2 for a 2-3 game stretch, giving you 5 catches, giving you 60 yards if he needs to. Every time he's going to get the ball thrown his way and it hits his hands, he's going to catch it. You can't say that about a lot of the guys, but that's not going to show up on the stats and yada, yada, yada. And again, he's one of the better, just period, better blocking wide receivers in the NFL, not even wide receiver 3s. And when you look at how important this is for this Detroit Lions team, he's the perfect fit for this team.
Hey, if I were to ask you guys,
I'm going to make a list of wide receiver 3s, by the way.
You got a franchise, not during the show.
No, I'm just going to, while we're all talking, I'm just going to just slowly make a list. You know, I'm interested. We'll talk after the show.
I didn't know Boone wasn't a huge Tim Patrick guy.
No, see, okay, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Jeff, this is one of those moments that you put words into people's mouth. I never said I'm not a Tim Patrick guy. I love Tim Patrick. Don't put words into my mouth like you usually do. And try and no. You're gonna say that's what you do. No, that's not what you do. That's what you do all the time.
You know what that was? J-Mo yesterday kept saying we thought he was a top 25 receiver.
But you do, because when we broke it down, you did.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But you did.
See,
Me, I'm literally saying I think Tim Patrick is very good. I like Tim Patrick for his role. He's a very good wide receiver, but he's just at that point of his career. It's not a big deal. I think he's very good for this Lions team. They need him.
Would you rather have him or Josh Reynolds?
Him, but I don't think Josh Reynolds is a top 5 wide receiver 3 in the NFL.
I didn't say any of that.
Don't. Hey, Jeff, you get mad at me if I say something like that and put that out there in the world. Don't do that to me. Come on now. Now everyone's saying I hate Tim Patrick. Now it's funny when you do it to me, but when I do it to you, you crash out. Come on.
I didn't crash out yesterday.
No, you've crashed out on me before by doing stuff.
Well, we all done things before.
Be better. Be better. Come on. Be better.
Oh, that's mature. That's really mature. All right, let's get to this poll. Honolulu Blues. Which Detroit sports team do you want to see make a trade the most? Pistons, Tigers, or Lions? If you guys had to pick one,
this is thrilling.
Where would you guys go with this? If you only could guarantee a trade for one of these franchises, the Pistons.
You only get one.
Pistons off season, Tigers trade deadline, or Lions off season.
I think with how the Eastern Conference is right now, if you were to pull off a trade for a big player, I'm not talking about even Larry Markkinen, I'd be happy with, but I'm not talking about that. If you were going to pull off like a Jaren Jackson Jr., even a Kevin Durant, and you add that to, you'd have to lose either Ivy or Duren, most likely Ivy, but you add that to this Piston roster with the current players that they have, and that would not be the only move that Trajan would make during this offseason. He'd probably acquire some role players as well. But give me the Pistons, man, because I think the Lions and Tigers right now can hold their own enough with the Lions in the NFC, the Tigers in the AL. I think the Tigers have a really good chance, with or without making a move at the deadline, to walk out of the AL and beat the Yankees and face the Dodgers. But if I'm looking at the Pistons right now, I think there's still a tier or two behind the Lions and Tigers in their respective sports. You put a big player there with Cade, with Duren, with some of the other younger pieces, with Asar, that Piston team becomes very, very dangerous, and we haven't had good Pistons basketball in such a long time. It's been dreadful. So to see them go on a run potentially like we're seeing out of the Indiana Pacers, but honestly, if you get a guy like KD, Jaren Jackson Jr., Giannis, so one of these big players, that's not going to be so surprising. Your teams are going to see it coming, but it's going to be hard to stop with a coach like JB.
I think it's the Pistons, if I'm being honest. You can make, I think the Lions would be third. If you want to go Tigers, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I think a trade would put them over the top. But the reason why I would say the Pistons is because I think if they don't, I think the Tigers are going to make the World Series. I think the Lions could, they can make the Super Bowl, but the Pistons, if they don't make a trade, dude, they're going to be just mid. So I need the Pistons to take that next step. I think if you have the Pistons taking the next step, you're going to have 3 teams that are contenders in their own sports. I think that's great for the city. So I need the Pistons to get a move on here. So I'm gonna go with the Pistons.
I'll move on here.
Yeah, let's make a trade. It doesn't have to be a huge, humongous trade, but at least go get somebody that could help this team in free agency or via trade. So yeah, I'm gonna go Pistons here. But I don't know if anyone should pick the Lions, honestly.
Yeah, the Lions. I mean, you just signed Zadarius. You're good. You really don't need to make a trade. I'm having trouble between the Pistons and Tigers. I really am.
Well, that's the poll results.
The Tigers are one. I would have to. I don't know which one I would pick. The Tigers. The thing with the Tigers, if you make a big trade and you get like someone in your rotation for pitching, or you get a big time right-handed batter, you could win a World Series. You can. And I think with the Pistons, like, you can sign Naz Reid and still kind of get to that point. I think I would go with the Tigers, though. I would. I think the Tigers are closer to winning a championship. And if you add the right piece at the trade deadline, I think this Tigers team can win the World Series. To where the Pistons, like, yeah, you can trade for someone that puts you over the top. I think you can contend. Are you guaranteed to win it? No, I think with the Tigers, like, you have a better chance of winning it if you add a massive piece to this Tigers team. Like, they're the best team in baseball right now. Pistons were, the fifth best team in the East. This is the best team in all of baseball. You get a championship in the city of Detroit if you add a piece to this Tigers team. You do. You really do. You can legit compete. You'll be in the – it's like saying, like, hey, the Pistons add a player, they're guaranteed to go to the finals, which isn't true. If you add a player on this Tigers team, I would almost say, hey, you're guaranteed to get to the World Series and have a chance at it. So I would go to the Tigers.
Coach says Tigers need a third baseman and another starter or closer. I mean, yeah, I don't hate the Tigers one either. I know people are saying where's the Red Wings on here? But
yeah, they just left the Red Wings out. That's kind of funny.
Sorry about that. No Red Wings right now. Fuck. And I know they probably need it the most, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. No.
Yeah, Tigers.
What does the future of the Red Wings look like? I've only been recently getting back in hockey after a very long absence, so I have a little idea what's going on. Yeah, well, it's a tough one. I'll tell you that. It's a very tough one. Yeah, it's tough. That's you know what that is. That's a heart-to-heart conversation with Gentry on Saturdays with Caleb. So that's what you need to. You go over there, talk to them about it, and Gentry will he'll give you the spiel. So. Coach says, let's revisit what Detroit team wins a title first.
I think it's going to –
I'm going Tigers.
I think what's going to happen is the Tigers win it this year and then the Lions win it this year. I think we get two this year. I think Detroit just gets absolutely blessed with the beautiful season. I don't know what it is, boys. I got a feeling, though. There's something. I got a feeling. Don't laugh at me.
I have more faith in the Tigers at this current standpoint. Just by the way that they're playing. They're hot.
Yeah. Because you're really looking at just the Dodgers. So I'd probably go Tigers at this point. They look the best, man.
How about that?
Yeah.
How crazy is it? I think that's so crazy thinking about that.
Yeah, they do. They look the best, man. They do. I can't even argue that. All right. Most of the chat kind of agreed too. I haven't seen anyone. I'm surprised the Lions had more votes than the Pistons. That surprises me, honestly. Because I don't know what a trade's going to do for you. I mean, unless you're talking about Trey Hendrickson. But again, here we go again with that shit. It should be Pistons or Tigers. It's just how it should be.
Yeah, the Trey Hendrickson stuff, that's what really kind of, yeah, if it did, obviously it would be big, but it's so impossible.
And I also realized too, someone put in the comments, we didn't do a role player on defense. So we got into the Tim Patrick discussion.
Do you want to save that for a different day? We could do that segment on that a different day.
Yeah, I mean, we could on defense. We could do that. Yeah, that's fine. Now, out of all when we talk about the trades, though, if I could tell you guys, you could get Trey Hendrickson, Devin Booker, Jaren Jackson, or Alex Bregman via trade. Which one would you pick? Trey Hendrickson, Devin Booker, Jaren Jackson, or Alex Bregman?
Well, I mean, Devin Booker would be.
Because I have a poll that it says that too, with Honolulu Blues. So I'll tell you the results of that.
Who do you think would cost more, Jaren Jackson or Devin Booker?
Devin Booker by a mile. He would cost so many first-round picks. Trey Hendrickson to me is just on. I don't think that's ever realistic. I know everyone's going to do it, obviously, but it's just so unrealistic. I would take Trey out of this conversation. I think it just comes down. If we're being realistic, it comes down to the most realistic is Devin or Jaren Jackson and Alex Bregman. And I would go Bregman.
Yeah, or they said Chapman too. Yeah, I would go. If you were to take Trey out of here, I would probably go with Booker or Bregman. If I had to lean one between the two, I'm going to go with Booker just because of the conversation that we just had. I'd rather the Pistons make a trade than the Tigers just because I think the Tigers are closer. Even if it was Bregman, I would go Devin Booker, no problem. Chapman, a little bit different just because what we saw against the Reds, like their bullpen needs some fucking help. But Devin Booker, I think, clear answer. If you take Trey out of there.
Yeah, I think it's in the order that it's voted. So I agree with the order besides Trey, but Devin, Bregman, or Chapman, and Jaren Jackson. That's how it should be.
Devin Booker, that's just such a pipe dream, man. That I just wish would ever. Yeah, imagine if just like all of these teams just made like these massive moves, and like the Pistons just make a massive move for like Devin Booker. The Lions somehow get Trey Hendrickson, and somehow the Tigers get Alex Bregman, and every team wins a championship in the next year. That would be one of the most ridiculous sports stories in a city of all time.
I think that would be correct, though. Because that shit is not happening.
Yeah, that's the biggest dream ever. Oh man, that would be such a. Oh man.
Hey, before we get to our trivia, we're bringing back NFL bold predictions.
Oh,
We did it last year. I think my Cowboys one. Probably I don't remember. I probably got a lot of those wrong, but the only one I think I got right was probably the Cowboys missing the playoffs. But now we're going to bring it back. We're going to give out bold predictions for the NFL season. They have to be bold, okay? We're not copping out and doing something, you're just saying something. Oh yeah, this guy he'll have a good year or something. I want something bold. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence was going to win MVP.
I have one, I think.
Or I said, I didn't say he was going to MVP. I said he'd get an MVP vote, and that was way off. That was terrible. But go ahead, Boone.
Do you guys remember a couple? I mean, one of mine last year, Jared Goff would be an MVP finalist. That one was beautiful. Do you guys want me to go first? Or do you guys want me to wait?
Yeah, go for it, Boone.
People will hate this. One of our really good friends is actually going to probably really hate this and think I'm an idiot for saying it. But I truly believe it. I'll stick to it. And I will live on this hill. The Los Angeles Chargers, boys,
Come on.
will win the NFC West. The Los Angeles Chargers will
Or
be
the AFC
winner.
West. AFC.
Or the AFC West. The Los Angeles Chargers will be the winner of the AFC West in 2025. I said it after the Super Bowl. I said, hey, I think the Chiefs can win another Super Bowl at some point, but this dynasty of the 3 or 4 year run that we saw, I don't know if it holds up for the next 3 or 4 years. There might be a year in here where they still go win a Super Bowl, but I think this division just keeps getting better. The AFC is getting better. This Chargers team, I mean, if you look at their schedule, they have the Raiders on the schedule, the Giants, the Dolphins, the Colts, the Vikings, the Titans, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Raiders again, Houston, and then obviously Denver twice. I think those are all teams that they can win. And I think the biggest matchups are the Eagles and the Chiefs twice. If they beat the Chiefs one time, I think they win this division. I think they just have to go 1-1. And they added some pieces too, boys. They went and got Najee Harris, who I like. Draft Amarion Hampton. Draft Trey Harris. Now you have Ladd, Mike Williams, Trey Harris. They by the way, yeah, they brought Mike Williams back. Quentin Johnston's still there. So the wide receiver room's, in my opinion, now I'm not going to say the best in the world, but it's a good wide receiver room compared to what they had last year, adding Mike Williams and Trey Harris. And then you go get Tyler Conklin at tight end with Will Dissly. You still have Justin Herbert. I think a second-year Jim Harbaugh. I mean, we saw what they did this last year in the AFC in his first season. So I like this team. I really do. That defense is always going to be really good. I'm a big fan of this Chargers team. So give me the Chargers to win the AFC West in 2025 is my first bold prediction of the summer, boys, of the offseason.
I love it, Boone. I love it. And I know it's something that most people are going to say, don't bet against the Chiefs, but I don't know if I'm going to go with the Chargers or the Broncos yet, because the more that the Broncos, they just added J.K. Dobbins, the more that they continue to add and the days go on. I love the Broncos as well. So I don't know if I'm going Chargers or Broncos, but I do think that someone besides the Chiefs win the AFC West, but I like it. I like it.
Go ahead, Klotzy.
All right. I'm not going teams here. I don't remember. What was my one last year? I can't remember. The year before was, what was it? Sam Howell leading the NFC East in passing yards. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go kind of along that route with a much better player. But my bold prediction, boys, the NFL leader in receiving yards, you're probably thinking Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, who I'll throw a wild card out there, Malik Neighbors. None of them. It's going to be Drake London down in Atlanta, because I saw a crazy, absolutely crazy stat the other day. Michael Penix, obviously they had Kirk Cousins in there at quarterback, wasn't the best. Drake London was still producing, but then they put in Michael Penix, boys, for 3 games. Over that 3-game span, Drake London had 22 catches, 352 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, if you divide that out and you put it over the course of a 17-game season, that's going to be 119 catches for 1,900 yards and 11 touchdowns. Now, I don't think that he goes for 1,900 yards, but I think with Drake London, when you look at Michael Penix, who I really like, I think he could be anywhere from like a top 18 to 15 quarterback this year. I think he's going to have a good year, and I think he has what it takes to be a franchise quarterback. I don't think he's going to go out and be an MVP candidate, but I think you're going to see, okay, Michael Penix is the franchise quarterback for the Falcons. They're going to have Bijan, but Drake London is entering his prime. He quietly has been one of the best wide receivers in the NFL over the last couple of years, and with Penix there and with the way that he's been playing, they finally got another true wide receiver too out there with Darnell Mooney. Boone. And then they got your guy, Kyle Pitts, roaming around out there. But I look at Drake London, boys. I think he's due for a big season. My bold take is that Atlanta wide receiver Drake London will lead the NFL in receiving yards this season.
You know what? Actually, the take I have kind of counters what you're saying. It's not production. It's not production, but just the teams. My bold prediction, boys. We talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be really good. But I'm officially off the Atlanta Falcons. All aboard the Carolina Panthers.
Wow.
What the hell?
The Carolina Panthers will be second in that division. And they will win 9. I might even go 10 games. I think this second year now in this system, the draft they just had, drafting formerly Lukas Klotz's boy, T-Mac.
Still think he'll be good. He's not Drake London, though, as I just said. People say he's Drake London. He ain't Drake London.
I think and this is Bryce Young heading into a year where he wants to get paid a lot of money. So I think the Panthers are going to be good. Bryce is going to play really well now with the addition of T-Mac, your boy Xavier Legette out there, and they drafted 2 really good defensive ends who I really like, Princely, Nick Scorton. They already got Derek Brown up the middle, and I think they have J.C. Horn. I mean, I think they put together some good pieces defensively. So I wouldn't be shocked, man. Watch out for the Panthers. Go out this year and sneak up on some people. And Bryce Young has a pretty good year. So even though, hey, I've been high and low on Bryce Young. I'm back though. I'm back with Bryce. I think he'll be all right this year. They'll win some games. And they got good running backs too. People forget about that. Chuba and the rookie they drafted last year. He was hurt most of the year.
Oh no, he's
Brooks,
hurt again. He's
Jonathan
out
Brooks.
this year. Yeah, he's out again this year. They have somebody solid though. You're right. I can't think of his. I can look.
The Panthers.
Yeah.
They're starting running back or backup running back.
They're backup because
Rico Dowdle.
Brooks. Oh yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah, and then they drafted Trevor Etienne as well this year. I'm Jeff. If you didn't have that as one of your bold takes, that was going to be one of mine this year. Yeah. I mean, I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago actually that the Panthers, like they're putting together a really good football team. Even their defense is good. They put together a great defense. Offensively, they're starting to come together. If Bryce Young ends up doing what he did towards the end of last year, it's going to be a good team. I thought for a second, I thought you were going to say win the division, and I was like, whoa, slow a little bit there. But 10 games I think that's pretty bold, and I wouldn't be shocked if they did it. I'm right there on board with you, actually. I will sign that one off with you. Like you know how the Declaration of Independence has signatures. I will sign that.
Okay.
I'm in lockstep with you on that.
I actually feel better about the take already that you signed off on it.
Let's go, dude.
I think it'll be close. I think the Bucks could fuck around and win like 12, 13 games this year, so nobody's sniffing them.
But
Second, I think Atlanta and Carolina, they'll be neck and neck. I think they'll be having a mid-off, but it'll be like
you know what I think though? You know where I'm not sold on? Your boy Morris, head coach.
Who?
Head coach of the Falcons.
Oh, Morris? I mean, I don't think he'll be an elite coach, but
I just don't know if I like him or not as a head coach. I like Dave Canales more, actually. I like Dave Canales.
I'll agree with you there. I like Canales more. I've been a Dave Canales guy. I just think when you look at Atlanta, when they're good, they got
my guy too, James Pierce. They got him.
Yeah, like and that they got James Pierce and Jalen Walker. They got both of them. And offensively, like they lost what's his face? Fuck the guard. Either way, weren't able to. They lost offensive linemen.
They lost their center to the Bears.
Yeah, Lindstrom too.
No,
they kept Lindstrom and then
the other guy.
I'm mind blank. Offensive line, they lost a big piece,
Yeah,
but their offensive line is still in a good spot. Defensive head coach, like I think that can be a team that at its peak, they'll probably be like best case scenario. Not this year. I'm saying like when Penix is playing good and they keep Morris, maybe like an 11-12 win team, but they don't win a Super Bowl with Morris. I agree with you there.
Watch out too, Dave Canales, sleeper coach of the year. I should have said that. It probably has been.
That's a good one, actually. Yeah, because if you think they're going to be good, he probably wins it. Especially if they make the playoffs. If the Panthers win the playoffs, he would win it.
We got some bold takes from the chat here. Bold take number 3. Cam Ward will have the Tennessee in a playoff hunt deep into December.
I don't hate the AFC South is so weak that if Cam Ward comes in there,
watching them Jags, baby.
You can say what you want about the Jags, but don't act like you're confidently cementing that in place. You're still holding your breath a little bit. There's not one team, even the Houston Texans, who I like a lot.
Daniel Jones. Watch
I would
out
say
for
the
Daniel
Colts.
Jones,
Dude, Daniel Jones is going to have a good year, and you're going to be like,
it's
going to go to real quick. You finally admit Daniel Jones is playing.
Let's stop throwing out those bold takes of you guys' opinions because we have like 12 weeks until the season.
No, wait, we didn't give out a bold take.
Well, Daniel Jones, I think he has a big year.
We talked about it last week.
Yeah, you guys.
I know. Hey, that's what I'm saying. We're during the segment. Let's not throw out some. Let's save. Don't steal.
That's already, you guys already dug that hole.
We can't blow our load twice.
I want to save them. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, you guys, you can have that shit. Ben Blue, Miami Dolphins will have a top 5 pick. Tua gets sent into retirement. Jeez, that'd be kind of crazy too. Last one, Baldo Weiss says Baker Mayfield will be an MVP finalist.
I hate it, honestly.
That's a bold take. Yeah.
If he goes out there and balls out, he did last year, can't hate it.
I know JT's in the chat loving that one. Hey, you know what time it is. Hold on, Klotzy.
Fellas, let me get all loaded up. That's on me.
Our weekly crunch time trivia host.
What it is today, boys. There's no trivia. We're doing a spin-off of it. But we're still testing the knowledge, okay? So today, you are naming Jeff and Booner that Detroit Lions player. I will pop up a picture on the screen, and between the two of you, and I didn't make these.
You got to write it down, right?
You got to write it down. The best out of 10 will win. But I want to see if you guys can touch some grass a little bit, get outside, and really show what you know by looking at the player, not by getting multiple choice questions here, okay? They're going to be clear starters. There's not going to be. Well, I take that back. There's one that is not, but you'll know who it is. Hopefully.
The fuck is no.
What?
Touch some grass.
What is this?
What's what?
Are you looking at your computer screen? Like what? What?
Yeah, I see a picture of me. I'm probably mad about someone saying something bad about Jared Goff or Dan Campbell.
And then what else do you see?
And then we got
a brain in the middle there. It looks like Jimmy Neutron brain. And then it looks like I see your dog Jax over there. Cute little dog.
That's a very, very good picture. I like that picture.
You pulled that picture from probably 5 years ago. But
anyway,
anyway,
where it came from.
That's impressive. All right.
I don't know where
Are we ready?
Here we go.
Let's do it. I'm pumped up. This is exciting.
Right,
I got to shut the chat off. Shut the chat off, Jeff.
Oh, I have the chat.
Let me get them pulled up here just so we're not doing this.
I don't know how I'm gonna do with this one.
All right, no, I'll pull them up one at a time just so there's.
So these are current Lions players.
No, in the last couple years, nobody too old, but all in our lifetime.
I'm gonna lose. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope you will.
Before 2016, I'm out.
I'm bad. You know what I'm bad with? I'm bad with
Who
numbers.
is this Detroit Lions player?
I'm bad with knowing players' names. I'll know a couple, but once you start getting there, my brain doesn't work that way.
I think Hefe will be in the same category though, Boone.
No,
Yeah,
I've seen Jeff name players. He knows way more players than me. I don't know many.
All
I
right.
forget very easily. I might forget half of this roster in the next 5 years if they leave.
My thing, Boone, is I'm bad with like just looking at numbers and being like, I know that number. Like I know faces. Like
I got this one though. I will say I think I do have this one.
I don't think I have this one. I'm ready
If
though.
you don't
I have an
this
answer
one, I
written
just feel
down.
bad for you.
Wait
All
a
right, boys, you
second.
ready?
Oh no, I think I have the wrong one.
How do you have the wrong one here?
Actually, no, I'll keep it what I have. I think there's two guys I'm in between. I don't know, Klotz. This is what I'm saying. You're going to do old players. I don't know. I'm not good with old players.
This isn't that old though.
Hold on,
this
ready?
is like
I'm
very
telling you, any era,
All right.
like you're just trying to expose us at this point.
answers
I don't like this
in
game.
3, 2, and 1.
Is it Eric Ebron or Brandon Pettigrew? Because I put Brandon Pettigrew.
Oh, you can't do both.
I
Eric
put one.
Ebron?
I put one.
So Brandon Pettigrew?
Yeah, that's what I put. He put Eric Ebron. I said it was either one. I
And
put
the
Brandon.
answer is Eric Ebron. Eric
Oh,
Ebron
see.
was after Brandon Pettigrew. First round pick, I believe, 10th overall by the Lions out of UNC. Bust.
You know what
Went
gave
on
this
to go
away?
to the Colts. Have a hell of a career.
I was just gonna say this, JT Olsen. You know what gave it away? He's bobbling the fucking football.
Yeah, he doesn't have possession of it. We moved to number 2, boys. Moved to number 2. Who is this Detroit Lions player? This is during the Quinn Trisha era.
This is why we shouldn't have done this. I don't know any of these guys. This is just embarrassing. This is the dumbest thing ever.
You said this
I
is
can't
the
see it.
Patricia era?
Context clues from the Quinn Trisha era. Look at the jerseys. Come on,
Trying to
boys.
think.
I'll be
I
disappointed.
mean, Klotz, you're going to be disappointed this whole time.
Can you do like an Amon Ra thing where like you give
I
us
don't
like
know.
position or something?
I'll give you
Running back.
I'll give
He's
you
carrying the ball. He's 28, Chaz.
defensive side of the
Then I
ball.
don't know. I'm out. I
Starter.
put a running back.
Oh,
Starter, Pro Bowler.
I got it.
This is
I got it.
insane.
I got it.
I don't have an answer. I don't have anything.
Boone, you know this one. I know you.
I don't.
You're just blanking.
You
but
do.
You know
You're instantly just saying you don't know.
Yeah,
it.
you know this one, Boone. You know this one. After he just said it, we wanted this dude back, bad. We wanted this dude back.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know, Boone. Write that name down, boy. Come on, dog.
I don't know if he wore 28. I don't think he wore 28.
I think he did because Klotz went silent. Hey, go. I think it is. I feel good about this one. I do. All right, go.
All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Quandre?
Oh, I put Darius Slay. I don't know. I didn't think
it is
of
Quandre Diggs. Quandre Diggs is the correct answer. Moving on to question number 3. Who is this Detroit Lions player?
Okay, I don't.
This is, boys. What are we? Wow.
This is just. I don't know players. I don't know players from the past. We should have just talked about this before we did it. I don't know. I'm gonna go for 10.
All right. So neither of you guys know this one.
He looks. I know who he is. He looks so familiar. I just don't know.
Led
his
the
name.
NFL in interceptions 1 year with the Lions.
Okay. So
Has the most interceptions outside of Dick Knight, Trey Lane in Lions history.
you just think of great line safeties, Boone. Besides the Quandre Diggs that played recently. You besides obviously Kirby. Yeah, this one. I got a feeling about this one.
I'm just gonna. I gotta take like half these off. All right, ready? 3, 2, and 1.
Glover Quinn.
Answer is Glover Quinn. Correctamundo, boys. Correctamundo.
You see that? I want a little credit here.
There you go, Boone.
Hey, let's go, baby.
Right.
Jesus.
We're not going to be able to do all 10 of these. So let's
I'll be able to find this.
let's do this one. Who is this one, boys?
Oh, yeah, I know who this is.
Yeah, there you go.
I had a 50-50 chance with the Titans.
Hold on. Critical thinking skills. I can't see the number. I
Tight end, Jeff.
Oh, you just went. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Ready, boys? And 3, 2, and 1.
Pettigrew.
It is Brandon Pettigrew, correct? Both of you are correct. Brandon Pettigrew. All right. Which number is that, boys? It's 4, I believe. No, 5.
Yeah. Or 1,
right.
2, 3, 4. Now we're on 5.
All right. Question number 5. Who is this Detroit Lions player? Who is this Detroit Lions player?
Oh. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Now we're getting into closer. Hey.
Yeah, this
we're
is a little bit more my range here. Jeff, you know, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All righty, boys. Answers in 3, 2, and 1.
Marvin Jones.
Yeah. Sorry. I got
Answer
it.
is Marvin Jones, correct? That is the correct answer. All right, let me find this one. All right. Here's a hard one. I think this one is be funny. Who is this Detroit Lions player?
Oh. He looks like him, dude.
Dude, it's exact replica. We don't even need to say.
Looks like him, dude. He still looks like. No, Boo. You know who this is, right?
Yeah,
We know it?
it's Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, dude.
All right, there we go.
You
Kellen
know,
Moore. All right.
it looks like Kellen Moore, too. It looks like he hasn't
Hold on, I
even
got to
aged.
find some players, boys.
He looks like he hasn't aged at all. That's crazy.
Yeah, Kellen Moore. He had a great Boise State legend at Boise State, and then really didn't amount to much in the NFL. But you know what? Going to be a good coach, was a good coordinator. Kellen Moore. All right, boys. Question number, I believe, 6 now, correct?
Yes.
Or no, 7.
Or yeah.
Here we go. Moving on. Who is this Detroit Lions player? Who is that? Who is that running back? Who is this Detroit Lions player?
See, we're in a good era here right now. This is the era. I guess there's some other guys but I wrote Kerryon Johnson down for one earlier. That was a DP. That's how it's like I had no clue
Wait,
what I'm doing.
Kerryon Johnson?
Yeah, for a DP. I'm like, that's
Can I ask a question or no? Just position.
Sure.
Is this a
Running back.
Does he play running back? Okay. Then I think I know who this is. I'm sorry, my handwriting's kind of ass, but that's.
All right, boys, you ready?
You can read
Answers
Yeah.
in 3, 2, and 1.
Job at best.
Answer is Javid Best. Correct.
All
Correct, boys. All right, another difficult one. Same area, or same era, I should say. Who is this? Wide receiver, if you couldn't tell.
Oh my gosh, I know. I think he only played 2 seasons in the NFL.
Didn't play long.
2 seasons. I literally looked him up on Google today.
Did you really?
Yes, because I saw a thing that it was like, you have one chance to score a touchdown. Pick your month and year or day, and I got him as my day. And I was like, I wonder how many touchdowns he had in 2 seasons. He played
He
2
was
seasons.
really fucking good. Just couldn't stay out of trouble.
He only had 10 touchdowns in his career in 2 seasons. Or he had 10 touchdowns in his
Absolutely
first 2
deep
seasons.
threat.
I can't remember his name though. I'm out. I've got nothing.
Jeff, you got any?
Yeah, no. I know.
right,
When you
boys.
say it, I'll know it.
The answer is Titus Young. Kellen Moore's favorite wide receiver while at Boise State.
Titus Young.
Titus Young. Had a couple.
I should have
really-
known when you said he couldn't stay on the field because he had
Yeah.
off the field issues. I should have known that.
Titus Young is the answer, though, boys. All right, second to last one. Who is this absolute legend, tank at the quarterback position? Who is this?
I don't know why I have a name in my head, and I don't think it's it, but it just popped up right away.
Who we rocking out with right there? Detroit Lions legend. The man who stepped in when rookie Stafford went down.
I have a name.
Yeah, this was rookie Stafford.
I don't know, though. I don't know. I don't even know if this name's the quarterback's name.
All right, boys, you ready?
I'm not ready. I don't know who. No, well, I'm ready to not.
Went on to play for the Vikings.
I got a name.
Who else did he play for? I believe the Bills. All right.
This dude is accessoried out. I don't know.
All right.
I do want to know, though. I do want to know.
So the answer is Sean Hill.
Wait, I had that. You didn't ask for. You didn't say 3, 2, 1. I had it.
No, I thought we didn't have it. Yes, Boone, correct.
Yeah.
Sean Hill, the correct answer. All right, fellas, last one.
I think I just took the lead.
Who is this?
Wait, you took the lead.
Yeah.
I think that's I've gotten 2 wrong.
I've gotten 6.
I think you missed the first 3.
No, I don't know. No, I've gotten 6 total. I've circled I've circled the 6 that I have. I got Brandon Pettigrew, Glover Quinn, Marvin Jones, Kellen Moore, Javid Best, Sean Hill. That's 6.
Did you get Eric Ebron?
No, but that was the one. Yeah, that was one you got.
Then we're tied. That's the only one I think that's the
Do you
only
know
one
this
wrong,
player?
right? I do.
I don't know the name of this player, and I've seen this player play a million times. I don't know the name of him.
Oh, I know this player.
Oh, so you win. Congrats.
Had a career season last year, boys.
I hated this guy.
One of my least favorite draft picks.
Oh, one of the worst draft picks of all time. You'll know it when you say it.
All right, boys. Boone, you got any guesses?
No.
All right, Jeff. Let's see if you got it. 3.
Oh, can I just say it? Can I just say it?
Yeah.
It's Jelani Tavai.
Correct. The answer is Jelani Tavai, the former
Hawaii.
What's the Rainbow Warriors? I believe it was a 2nd-round pick, dude. I remember this vividly, and neither worked out. But Darius Geis was sitting on the board, the LSU running back, and I was pounding the table for Darius Geis, and he went on to get in a bunch of trouble, so would have whiffed either way. But Jelani Tavai, 2nd-round pick.
Wait, wasn't Jelani Tavai here the first year with Dan or no?
Could have been. I'm not sure. I don't think so, but he could have been.
I feel like Chad, am I wrong? Am I off on that? I feel like Dan got a little taste. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe it was the last year. But anyway, I think Dan just laid eyes on him and said, this guy stinks. Get him out.
Yeah, you just had a really good season, though, I believe, with the Patriots. Career year.
Yeah. Jelani Tavai, man. All right. Thanks, Lions fan.
Well, that'll wrap it up, boys. We move next week. I'll come better next week.
Whoa. Where'd Klotz go?
It's crazy. See, some guys, it's like you watch them play ball, but you just forget numbers. And
you forget everything. It feels like
see what guys kind of look like sometimes. But we battled in there. That Jelani one, you kind of gave me a layup at the end there. Jelani, he's a hard guy to remember though, because he is a very random ass. He was a bust in Detroit. He was very random player. He was a good special teamer.
Good special teamer. Not a 2nd-round pick though. No way in hell.
I can't believe he was. Yeah, he was a 2nd-round pick. That, you know what that was? That's like that's like Broderick Martin pick right there, but worse.
Yeah, I'd put that there. At least Tavai was on the field.
Yeah, that's
him and Jared Davis, best linebacking core in the league.
Gerard Davis. That was a TJ Watt draft.
Yep. Hated that pick too.
Gerard Davis. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of like Gerard Davis. Like when
he came out, I was a little.
Yeah.
I just every time I think of him, I think of him walking up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Doing nothing.
Yeah, there's some rough ones. Richard says you were right. They brought him in and cut him during training camp.
Slim picks.
Hey, we'll get to Mailbag though. Drop your questions. We got about 10 minutes left. By the way, the Tigers absolutely fucking.
They win?
Yeah. And
Come
Caitlin
on,
Clark
pretty
straight
How
again.
about that? No, I just saw Caitlin Clark. I saw a video of she got shoved and there was like a little thing, and then a couple plays later, or at some point later in the game, one of her teammates on a fast break with one of the girls that hit her just snagged her and grabbed her and threw her on the ground, and they got into it. They got into a fight. I don't know if we could play it. It's kind of thrilling though.
Is it like
Dude,
to
Caitlin
draw
Clark, ever
that?
since she came back, the WNBA's been.
Well, I mean, I think I saw a stat that said when she was hurt, the ratings were down 50%.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is, man.
Can we show this?
I think if it's a broadcast off live, probably not. But there's like a different angle, then yeah.
I don't know if there's a different angle, but this is unbelievable. There was a brawl at the WNBA game. These girls are going at it. Sophie Cunningham just absolutely ripped someone down. Can we play it, Jeff? What do we think?
Fuck it. Let's just fire it away, man.
I mean, let me find the. Oh, here it is. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let me,
Sophie Cunningham, the
hold on. Let me share my screen. I wonder if we could play both, like we play like the lead up to it.
They're up 17-2 with 45 seconds left. That's comedy.
This is it right here. Can we play this?
Yeah, play it.
Yeah, it's the actual broadcast.
Just turn the volume down
I'll mute it.
so we don't have so it doesn't pick up the audio. But that's good teammate right there, man.
It is.
Hey, you mess with Caitlin Clark, dude. You're gonna have to get swung on. This is how it is. It's a franchise, man. That's not just
crazy.
A franchise. That's the league.
The ratings dropped 50% when she was hurt. That's nuts, dude.
She's the league, man. I'm not trying to disrespect any. There's a lot of very, very good hoopers.
I mean, it's
marketability.
obvious,
From a marketability
Yeah.
standpoint, she's the draw. I mean, she's shooting 45 feet. I mean, she's like, dude, it's insane. She's pulling up. The only person I've ever seen do that is Steph Curry, and she's pulling up from way down
tonight. She had 20 and 6 tonight. If she didn't get hurt, she probably would have won MVP, to be honest.
Yeah, her first game back, she hit like 3 logo threes or something. Like it's just like, what are we doing?
All that.
Because it's such a short season. It is like the WNBA. I think they only play like 30 games. I could be wrong, but I don't think they play a long season.
You're right. I think you're right.
So it's like if you're out for half of the season, you're probably not winning MVP.
Coach Buck says the best thing that can happen to the league. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that she's marketable, but her skill set is entertaining. She shoots deep threes. I mean, that's dude. Now you got female hoopers, man. They're gonna be shooting from the logo now. It's like Steph Curry all over again, dude. They're gonna want to be Caitlin Clark. So yeah, she's a draw. By the way, J-Rod, good night. Smash
Shout
that
out
like.
J-Rod.
Right,
Shout out to him.
Do that. To what J-Rod said, hit the like button.
Coach Walk was talking about the fights, not Caitlin
Well, the
Clark.
fights, yes.
Yeah.
The fights, yes.
All leads back to one person.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, my point still stands with that. I mean, it's still Caitlin. Like,
Yeah,
still
it's the same person.
Hey, by the way, I just want to say before we have the show, shout out to Caleb Daniels, man. Threw the boys $100
Yeah,
today.
seriously.
That was really nice of him. And he taught the boys something new today. Chris Givens and Sam Rosen. I mean, we learned something new today.
Digging deep.
Yeah, that's
My dog going absolutely ballistic, boys. Sorry.
No, dude, it's okay. How old is your dog? How old is it now?
He's probably like 4 or 5 months now. Hear him?
Yeah. That's how my
Oh,
dog
fucker,
he would
bro.
get to. Yeah. He'd start just freaking out. Someone drives by or some shit. That's just how it is. Dogs bark at the dumbest shit. Notice that. It's okay though.
At everything. They
Yeah.
bark at everything. Did we have any mailbag questions? Was there anyone that put
Honestly,
in?
I didn't really look.
The Caitlin Clark stuff kind of took over.
Yeah, I didn't really look, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I didn't see
Yeah, if you guys have any, drop them in the chat. I'll get to them. I will get to them. I'm seeing a lot of people had the Sean Hill answer too. I just went up and saw that.
Yeah.
Sean Hill legend. 6-10. That legendary Tennessee Titans Detroit Lions game.
A retired.
Disgusting. Xavier D, mailbag. Could any of you beat a retired Ronda Rousey? No, dude. No.
I will say, okay, I'm going to go no. Ronda would kick my ass. I will say I saw this video. It might have been from a couple of years ago, but it was a couple of female UFC fighters, and they went into this gym like challenging these guys and were like very cocky and like acting like they were about to beat.
What UFC fighters?
I can't remember the names. It was female UFC fighters.
Okay.
Might have even been Bellator, to be honest with you. But they went into like a gym, just like stopping in a gym to spar with the guys, and they thought like we're professional fighters, like they're gonna underestimate us, like an Uncle Drew moment where it's like, oh, underestimate, and the guys just kicked their ass. Like it was over in the matter of 30 seconds.
Yeah,
so
I mean, there's physical differences, but Ronda Rousey to us, like me, I'm not talking about training.
I would get destroyed. I would get
Yeah.
destroyed.
we get Caleb in conditioning. Let him get some good cardio. Caleb would be a hard knockout. Caleb would have a tough chin.
Yeah, I'm not saying like if Ronda Rousey.
Why do you say that?
Bellator fighter, a male Bellator fighter, or a
Caleb's got
male
a fat noggin, bro. That brain's protected. He's got.
I don't think Caleb would have a
chance. To the
chance.
ground. He takes Ronda to the ground. Good night.
I don't
Good
think.
night.
If you got Caleb into shape, I don't think. I think
that
maybe you're right.
still saying fat.
I don't think so.
Coach,
he was a starting linebacker in high
Coach,
school.
that's wild. I'm sorry, dude. That's just.
Floyd's
wild.
so small, though. Floyd's a small guy.
But I'm talking about. Well, it depends. If we're talking boxing, why?
Could you imagine
why
MMA though?
That
Floyd would get thrown around.
Floyd would get. Yeah, he would. Yeah,
we all would though. I'm happily saying Ronda Rousey would kick my ass for sure.
This is the easiest mailbag of all time, I think.
Would you rather lose in the Super Bowl or miss the playoffs by a hair?
Losing the Super Bowl.
That
means we took.
What is that?
That means you took a step forward, right? We got
I'd
better.
rather miss the playoffs.
No, you took a step forward if you make the Super Bowl. I was about to say. I honestly, I was about to walk out. I was about to crash out. You're about to see a crash out, Boone.
Coach Rock said it was MMA.
The fact that you don't win it, you might as well
MMA.
miss the playoffs.
Ronda Rousey would destroy it depends. If she can get Floyd down, he's fucked. You know, like he'd be fucked.
I still think Floyd would win no matter what.
It depends if they're on their feet. Like maybe Floyd's Floyd, but like if
but even think
Ronda's
about
like judo, wrestler, jiu-jitsu,
Yeah, but
black belt.
who's
Floyd's
all right,
not like
who's stronger?
Floyd's not a striker though. Like Floyd's whole game is like how good he is defensively. So
Yes,
if Ronda just
Floyd
like
though
he can sneaker for sure, but if
Floyd
Ronda
in his
just
prime, it's over. He would have a couple months to prepare and learn. I think Floyd would win.
Slums. Give me Ronda.
Ronda would take one Floyd Mayweather hit and be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to try and go near him."
Floyd would have to knock her out pretty quick.
He would one punch.
But Floyd's not. Floyd's like a pepper you up. You know, he's gonna like just outlast you. But like if Ronda gets him down, he's fucked. I'm telling you, he's fucked. He's fucked. Like us against Ronda, all it would take is just us in there.
Man.
Like, all right, and then as soon as she gets us down with probably some hip toss, something where we just hit the ground and lose every area.
Who do you think you would be able to fend for your life? Battle to the death. Would you rather Ronda Rousey or Floyd Mayweather?
Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Wait. What was the question? I have to.
Who would you rather fight? Battle to the death. You win, and the other person dies, or other person wins and you die.
I would
Floyd
go,
or Ronda.
Ronda.
Yeah, I would go Ronda.
Floyd would kill you.
Well, Ronda would kill me too.
She wouldn't. You would have a chance. Like to the death, you would have a chance.
I don't know. Ronda would kill you too. Ronda would kill all of us. She would get you in a chokehold and just not let
die
go.
or die. That's pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah. Which way would you rather? I'm going Ronda just because it'd be a choke. I'd rather
me to sleep.
Or I'd rather do. Yeah, it would be quick quick death.
It would just put me to sleep. I'd be all right.
I think you'd have a better chance. Like you'd have an opportunity. You'd have a chance to.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. You wouldn't be able to hit Floyd, and you're not going to be able to get Ronda off of you. She's just going to kill you. So you're screwed either way.
I want to. Yeah. How much does?
Yeah. Go watch. You know what, dude? If anyone, I know it's random. You're probably not going to do it, any of you, but go watch Ronda Rousey like highlights. She was murdering people. Like in her prime, absolutely destroying people. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But we'll get out of here.
I wonder how much Ronda Rousey can like bench. I'm looking it up here. It says one of them says 180.
What does a bench have to do? Like if she
strength, like can I just overpower? You can be all tactical you want. If I'm just that much stronger than you,
leverage, like
if I'm just that much stronger than you, it's like when you're like as a kid, like you have a little brother. Like, yeah, he can know all he wants, but you're just gonna overpower him at the end of the day.
Brother.
But what I'm saying though is if you're that much stronger than someone, at the end of the day, it's like with your little brother, like, hey, your little brother could do Taekwondo and be a black belt. But if I'm just that much stronger than him, he can know all he wants. I'm pinning him down because I'm just going to overpower you.
You sound like you sound like Bradley Martin. That's what you sound like.
That's just not the case, Boone. There's
Bradley Martin,
there's a 5'3" and 120-pound man that would kill you in the matter of 5 seconds that lives like two minutes away from you.
Yeah, but a UFC guy is like it's just different.
It doesn't have to. It could be your average Joe. If someone knows, if someone knows and doesn't even have to be a professional. If someone knows and like reps fighting daily, like how we do a podcast.
You're talking about 135 pounds, or we can't have this conversation. It's gonna get disrespectful. We gotta stop. We gotta end the stream.
It's like it literally is like Bradley Martin. Like Bradley Martin says to MMA fighters, like I'm 260. They're like, I don't give a fuck.
No, that's fair. But we're talking. We gotta end the stream. End the stream. No, it's not. So different. We gotta end it. We can't do this. There's a factor here that's not getting. There's a factor that's not getting.
We're talking about guys or like a female.
He's talking about guys. He's talking about 135-pound guys.
Yeah,
there's a difference between a 135-pound guy and a 120-pound.
I agree. I agree, but
I thought we were saying guys here.
No,
there's still females that will kill you. That are.
I mean, it depends. Like, how strong are they? How much can Ronda bench?
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't.
No,
matter.
it does for me. I'll overpower you.
I could see your point, Boone, if it was like 135-pound woman just going after you, but it's like Ronda Rousey, like literally Ronda, like she's a killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so am I.
All right, hey, we'll get out of here tomorrow with the docs.
I love you guys. That was fun.
The DOC. We'll see you.
Shout out to people. Hey, hit the like too.
Hit the like button, dude. Drop a like. Shout out Caleb Daniels, by the way. Peace.
Legend. Love you guys.